Welcome back, everyone, to the greatest role on Earth! Or at the very least, the greatest role the small town of Aberton has ever seen. There's my creepy circus music. I love you so much. Our show, our opening night, our first curtain here for the Circus of Wayward Wonders may have had its fair share of troubles, but everything has ended up spectacular in the eyes of our fine patrons. And in the aftermath, we've started to make some good steps forward to understanding exactly who, what, and why everything has fallen so quickly around us. After all of our meticulous preparations, our practices at the 11th hour, every problem under the sun arises. And so far, it all seems to be thanks to a strange, spiteful little halfling woman with a curious ability to command and control, well, at the very least, an incredibly angry horde of rats. And one significantly larger rat. Realistically, if you think about, as a person who literally has pet rats and loves them, like a waist-high, angry, mangy rat. It's probably one of the most terrifying things that could conceivably exist. The front of those things are just 95% teeth. That's okay. Made it through. We're fine. We still have all of the stars of our fine show ready for action. So welcome back, everybody, to the my brain is slowing down, third episode of The Greatest Role on Earth.
That sounds right.
It sounds right to me. We're going to go with that. But let us, as always, around the table here. Let's see, we start with Chelsea the first time, and we started in the corner Olive the second time. So let's start with Ash this time.
Hi, I'm Ash. I go by Arcane Faith everywhere. I'm a TTRPG player, variety streamer. I play a bunch of different stuff. Today I'm playing Vera. She is a sorcerer human fire wielder.
Are we going around?
Humans? We can just go around. Yeah, sure, Chelsea.
Hi, I'm Chelseabytes, and I will be your cat bard Tabitha. Just out here slicing and dicing with my knives and all of my culinary instruments. Welcome to Circus. And now that's you, our gnome wizard.
As Chelsea said, I'm a gnome wizard. I am Jared, also known as the Real Gobshite. I play Bodhi Perp Walderspoot, gnomish wizard and special effects lighting extraordinaire here at the circus. Now I push it to my left. This side? Nope, that side. Reverse.
This looks like the box. Completed. Wait, let me put one up. Oh, I can't get out. No, I can't. All right, my turn. I'm Sam. I was missing last week, but we're just gonna say that Splat. You remember how in the first episode she went like super Hulk mode? I assumed that she probably went and took a really big nap. And has missed all of this. And nobody bothered to wake her up because they were like, she's been through it. So she's gonna get informed of a lot of things here shortly. But yeah, she's the beautiful bearded lady. Looks threatening, but has a very soft spot, so don't you worry. Yeah, Splat is here. She's back, and I'm ready to play.
Looks threatening, certainly to some degree of intimidating, given the gigantic stature dwarf power that went on the first time. So I would like to imagine that nobody wants to take the risk of waking up. Nobody wants to be the person who is physically the closest.
She's the
to
lion.
to be woken up. But I am Squiiddish. I run the Two Perception show and a bunch of Pathfinder related shenanigans here on my own channel, and on Saturdays at the moment over on twitch.tv/officialpaizo, running really old adventures adapted for 2nd edition. This is a lot easier because it is a 2nd edition adventure. I don't have to adapt for 2nd edition. And speaking of second things, as we left off our last episode, we are all now 2nd level. So we should have a whole bunch of fun new toys to play with, new class feats, I think a new skill feat? Question mark. Sounds right to me. I like how much stuff you get every time you level up in this. There's always cool things that are coming in every single step of the way up to 20. But, as I briefly recapped at the beginning, we put on our first show. We have run off this halfling druid who seemed to be responsible for most of the problems. Somebody at that point perhaps would have... I guess you could just leave Kasplat there at that point. She could just sleep through the night now. We're chilling. It's already past sundown. With her gone, the crew started to kind of trickle back out throughout the camp, cautiously checking their individual wagons. The worst of everything seeming to be over now that the one pulling the strings had been removed. And after not only an incredible opening night of a show, but a very exhausting, we'll say, evening, especially for many of you, everyone was more than ready to head to bed for the evening. I'm sure for several of you, it will be almost impossible to even consider doing anything else at that point. The worst of it behind us. We start today's show following morning, after your opening night, after your spectacular performance, and after your protection of your fellow family in the Circus of Wayward Wonders. As you all arise, we'll go around the other way here. Kasplat, you must be very well rested after everything that has happened. Awakening the morning after, what does your morning look like? What do you do?
So she's probably, seeing like a little peep through the tent, whether it be underneath or like a crease that's in the tent somehow that is just separated of the sun coming through, and it's hitting her right in the face. And so she's like, oh, not again. And you see her just kind of getting up and stretching real big. She's really small, like she's a dwarf, but it's a real big stretch. And you hear like bones cracking and, like things adjusting, because evidently she's been asleep for a long time. She was exhausted. And so as she's turning to get out of her bed, she puts her feet down into these little bunny slippers, because she's got a little soft spot. So she slips her feet in. She stands up and looks around and doesn't hear anything. So she's going to just walk out of her little room and peek around. And is anybody out here this morning? Waiting to see if she gets a response.
As you look
I'll be
around,
out in the morning.
Okay, as you look at the camp around here, Dual Stone Rage, thank you for that resub there. 36 months, a 3-year. Quite girthy. And thank you for the follows from SOCJ, Dumpus555, and Link1429 as well. Apparently Tabitha is out there, a fairly early riser. What are you up to? How are you this morning?
Well, I'll be preparing for this morning's brunch, as everyone deserves a nap in for the cacophony and landering and weirdness we dealt with yesterday. So, I'll be up chopping ingredients with, of course, my companion, Little Chef. And if anyone in chat doesn't know who Little Chef is, it's my little mouse friend. And, I'll be just chopping some carrots, kneading some dough. A chef's work is never done,
I feel like Kasplat's gonna be smelling this, and she's gonna... Oh, sounds like Tabitha's up. Ooh, smells so good this morning. She's gonna start just kind of like shuffling her feet, just like really softly toward the kitchen, and kind of come around the corner. Tabitha, what you making this morning?
Oh, good morning. It's so great to see you, Kasplat. Oh, of course I'm making a quiche, and
Ooh,
I think it's
the way you are. And my belly.
And some shrimp and grits on the side for the
Ooh, you can make them savory,
heavy
please. That's how I like
Absolutely. And some biscuits and whatnot. But you were asleep last night, weren't you? Oh,
well, yeah. Were you not asleep?
Happened. We went to go check on that noise we heard. After we had to deal with those snakes and... Oh, goodness. Vera let out the bear. Yes. It was...
Well, why didn't you wake me? I could have grappled it real quick.
Well, it was happening so quickly, and Honestly, they handled it very well. The poor thing looked like it had honestly been buggered. I felt really bad for the poor dear. So,
Did
did
it
it no
get
harm?
spooked?
Yeah, spooked by, I think, the rat? Oh, yes, there was a rat druid.
Oh.
They were
I
stalking
saw
us.
the rats
Yes,
before
they
I
were
went to
everywhere.
bed, but I didn't know that it had powers.
Oh, yeah, they were disgusting little creatures running around, biting at everyone's feet, and they wanted to get rid of humans. They felt that humans were the problem and that they were ruining the environment. Please.
Well, I
So-
mean, let's be real. You know, we kind of do things.
Absolutely.
Maybe aren't good for the environment, so I understand they're squabbling.
I
But
know. It's like preaching to the choir, even. Like, we know this
do
story.
you sing? They were preaching to singers. I didn't know we had somebody that sang up in here.
Oh, just little chef and I, when we really get into the mood, when we're baking usually. It's easy to sing when
Aw.
you're piping icing onto
That's
the cake.
precious.
As you're getting Kasplat caught back up on the events of the previous evening, Bodhi Perp, everyone's favorite resident lighting specialist, would be awakening not around the same time, more or less. And what do you do?
Bodhi Perp definitely is not as morning going as some of the others. Being a lighting guy, lighting has to happen, when it's dark. So he tends to stay up a little later to perfect his craft. But Bodhi would put on his gnome robe, which is really just his regular robe, but the hood's up, like it's up, and he's to just block the world out for as long as possible. Steps out of his wagon and slowly meanders through the camp, like stubbing his toe every fifth step, until he reaches the common kind of cook pot / the general area, and he looks around, sleepy-eyed, sees what his target is, the percolating cup or percolating tankard of coffee that he just pours into his goblet. And then he goes and just finds a stump somewhere and just lets the morning happen to him. He's a passive participant until that cup of coffee is gone.
Bodhi Perp is also here. Is basically how the morning can be summarized, I suppose. Now, Vera, in your wagon, I don't know how much of a morning person you are traditionally, but though you feel largely perfectly fine, you took some of the aggression in that last encounter with the druid.
Yeah.
Kind of took the brunt of the fury of that horde of rats for a little while. But afterwards, between your own magic Tabitha's magic, Eliza's assistance, you were patched up more or less okay. You'd probably still have some bandages around your leg. You would be at full health mechanically, but they would have gotten some pretty decent digs into you. And as you awaken this morning, it's not any immediate continuation of that. It's not painful. I mean, of course, there's a little bit of soreness there where you were attacked, but you awaken like you're rising from the grave. Like your eyes almost ached together, and just blearily kind of looking out, feeling your throat starting to sort of swell up a little bit and burn. I need you to make me a fortitude save.
Oh no! What? I was not prepared. Not prepared. Let me. Where's my dice? My dice. Okay, fortitude. All right. Oh yeah, we have to type it. I wasn't prepared.
You got this. I believe in you.
D20 plus. My fortitude is +5. I got not bad. Not bad. 21.
Pretty good roll.
Fortunately
Fortunately for you, these kind of what are typically secondary symptoms here will be the worst that you experience as you awake in the morning. It's a bit unpleasant and your head feels heavy, but even shortly into the morning, this would start to recede to some degree. And again, this would be as severe as it gets. You were, after all, the only one who actually took any damage from the rats.
Yeah.
And they're not clean little creatures, those rodents, but fortunately,
Nope.
you are a member of a traveling circus. So, you probably have a fairly hardy immune system at this point, I imagine. So how was your morning?
Pretty good. It's going good. On top of the sickness, Vera's just sitting in bed and kind of holding her head because she's feeling the symptoms of this, possibly fighting off some kind of sickness from the rats. But her head is pounding. There's some kind of pull in her brain right now, and it's telling her to go. It's telling her to keep moving, keep going. And she's heard this for quite some time now, and she keeps pushing it down. And she looks at her hands from where she actually touched the druid, and she's looking at it and not sure how much she wants to keep using her own internal magic. But she's trying to deal with the sickness, the ringing of something in her head, and she just pulls on her clothes and gets out of the tent to try and find some food, because food usually cures most things.
So not terribly long after Kasplat would join into this group here, after Bodhi Perp's coffee and Vera dragging herself out of bed, the four of you would come together in this common area around the cook pot with most of your other performers, roustabouts, members of the circus, readying about for their day. The next big project on the menu, of course, is bringing the big top down and reorganizing and prepping everything for the road. A process that does take several things. But
Is that a thing that we do?
you have roustabouts for that. That's not something
Right.
that the talent has to do. This is
It's
you have
way
like
too early in the morning.
Yeah. Nobody's doing anything yet except maybe some of those with less seniority and pulling weight, maybe out fetching wood from that nearby little minor forest. Very cautiously after the events of the previous evening. But you would be joined, as I said, by many of your other performers, one of which would come over kind of sheepishly to approach Kasplat. One of the first times you've ever really seen Axel around the campgrounds without his big, magnificent red and black cape that he traditionally wears pretty much everywhere. But he's dressed like almost a normal person, just kind of nicely in a good button-up shirt. Cleans himself up a bit more on the off days than many of the other performers even. He would come right towards Kasplat. Hands kind of folded in front of him, but a bit of a grin on his face. Splat, I wanted to
Hi,
thank
good
you.
morning. What, in regards to?
Good morning to you, of course, as well. Well, for last night,
Are you
My
thanking me for
avatar,
last night, sir? Excuse me?
I froze. I don't know what happened. I spent weeks trying to convince Thunder to give me a chance, and then you, and he sort of looks across at most of you that are here. You let me do it. You gave me my birds a shot, and I just froze.
That's okay. Stage fright's a thing. It takes us each a little bit of time to get used to it. You gotta warm up. But you did great. And she's gonna reach out her hand and kind of try to gently pat him on the back, but it comes across a little more aggressive. She's like, "You did awesome, sweetie."
And he's fairly small. He's probably just a little bit over 5 foot. He's not a terribly tall gentleman. And he's younger, but he's probably like 18, 19, so I don't think a growth spurt's going to save him at this point. So he's one of the ones here that would be the least above you in height, Split. But he's relatively scrawny. You kind of pat him on the back and he flinches a little bit. Yes, Right. Well, thank you. Thank you, all of you, for giving me the chance. I'm
Well,
glad
now
I
you're
could
one of
do the
us.
circus ride. And he's just
I mean, we lost somebody, so makes it a rough time whenever we got to scramble around to put it all together. But you stepped up, and that means a lot. And I think all of us, and she's going to be looking around with whoever is near them, are all very grateful for what you did. That's hard to do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Speaking of losing someone, what are we going to do for Ringmaster now?
Oh, have we still not put together a funeral?
I mean, moving forward on the next. We can't do that every night.
We'll have to come up with a new roster for the next show. I mean, we can, as we move on to the next city, we can come up with some kind of plan to see who continues to mainline, who does shows. But we do need somebody to announce. Maybe Axel can announce with his birds.
That's brilliant.
We can go back and forth over what we should do about this circus, but honestly, we need to bring in the professor in this conversation. It was his best friend, for Pete's sake.
And right about here, he would be coming in this group as well. Oh, it appears that I've arrived just in time. Good morning, Tabitha. It smells delicious as always. Did you need me for something?
What are we going to do, Professor? Yesterday, in fact, was wildly out of control, and we don't have a plan. What is your plan?
Well, as he looks across the group here, you got Axel, who admittedly, again, he's really new to this. He's New Thunder the least. He cannot keep this grin off of his face after the performance he had yesterday, but the mood across the rest of the camp is fairly mixed. Everyone loved Thunder. He was the heart and soul of this entire operation. And with everything that was going wrong and everything that was happening, those cricket feasts and the attack of the druid, no one really got a great opportunity to process what had happened before the show until the night and now the morning. And this is really the first, after how exhausted everyone was, the first time everyone's really been confronted with it without some other looming pressure. Well, there's... That's hard to say, I suppose. That's certainly something we'll have to organize, but something we can figure out on the way to, well, wherever it is we decide to have our next show. And on the subject of which, I know we're a traveling circus and all, of course. He tries to kind of raise his voice, but years of his old act, he was a fire swallower, has sort of left him at a limited volume. He can't project that hard. So, out of a general respect, where most of the other people around the camp stop their conversation, they do give him their attention. He's not Thunder, but everyone does trust the professor's judgment in most of these cases. I think it may not be a terrible idea to, well, forestall travel for at least a little while we figure things out. All other things aside, the show last night and the support was absolutely phenomenal. The city of Abberton, small though it may be, admittedly, seemed absolutely desperate for this kind of entertainment and were more than willing to provide for it. And on that same subject, well, he sort of looks back over towards Tabitha. There may be somebody who wants to meet with you, the group of you. He should be along relatively shortly. He was here at last night's show.
And also, if we're going to stay here. I'm concerned about that druid, the woman, the halfling with the rats. She wanted to destroy this town, which
She what?
if we're here. Yeah, she
Sorry,
doesn't
I was
like.
asleep.
She doesn't like humanity, and this town is one of the big sore spots, and us being a circus, making room for the tents and everything, we're part of the problem.
You know what we need to do? We need
Plant
to
some
invite her
trees.
to a show and show her a good time. You know, you gotta kill him with kindness. That's how I live my life. Either that or with brute force. I got that too if you need it, but I'd rather the first route of the start.
She already tried to kill us all.
That's because she wasn't shown kindness first.
Oh,
You know,
it's
she had
the
aggression.
It's the Starstone Isles. Where is the small hamlet along this archipelago where a town isn't being terrorized by a strange witch or a druid or an army of dinosaurs or a horde of trogs from beneath the world or an ancient world-ending prophecy of some kind?
What?
That's according to the news. An entire country just blew up a few weeks ago when a lich escaped from his tomb. On the grand scale of things, this is probably on the safer end, honestly.
Okay.
I'm sure I could convince her with a roll of croissants or something. I'll consider that, Kasplout.
You can bake her a cake. You can bake her a king cake and put the baby in her slice. That way she knows that the next time she gotta come, she gotta bring the king cake next.
Absolutely.
usually get them in.
Side. Absolutely. Yes, you're speaking my Oh, I might have to work on that real fast.
Oh, now I'm
Okay.
craving king cake.
Everyone, please finish breakfast. And we'll talk about what we have to do about this situation. And Professor, who is meeting us again? You failed to mention his name. Well, their name.
Well, it's... And as he says that, you see a figure kind of come around from the side of your big top here towards this communal area. A man, middle-aged, with a wide-brimmed boater on his head, finely trimmed mustache and goatee, kept relatively short brown hair, but deep recessed wrinkles around the bridge of his nose and under his eyes. A man who has clearly experienced a pretty impressive amount of stress in his life, and also recently, based on the relatively visible wear in his visage. He's dressed very nicely, a fine leather jacket, drawn over a very nice shirt and a teal striped tie underneath. And as he approaches and comes into view here, he holds himself very upright as he approaches, but removes his hat, holds it in front of his chest with both hands. My apologies to the group here, but I was hoping, I was told, rather, that I would be able to find a Tabitha and Vera Bodhi-Perp Waddler Sputes. And he kind of looks over towards Kasplat. And I have to imagine you, of course, are the lovely Kasplat.
Oh, thank you.
And as he
Make
says
me
these names,
blush.
he is looking vaguely at each of you. He clearly already knows who you all are. But addressing the crowd of the circus, he's more not wanting to impose and doesn't want to... You get the feeling he doesn't want to present himself as an authority figure. Like, you four, come here. He is making an effort to appear as if he's asking, like he is an outsider. And the professor, oh, that's the mayor of Aberton. That's our guest.
Oh, the mayor. Oh, where are my manners? Welcome to our fine establishment. Would you like a biscuit?
Thank you kindly for the offer. And see, you're already familiar. Well, a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Miss Tabitha. Your show last night was absolutely phenomenal. Your performance was astounding, as was... It kind of gestures out to everyone, as was everyone who took the stage that evening. Hosting the Circus of Wayward Wonders here in the fine town of Aberton has been an absolute pleasure for myself and all the good people of our town. But my name is Jay Aber, and I've heard some terrible news this morning. He looks over towards the professor and nods his direction. The professor nods back. I learned that you and your people here were backed by someone from our fine town, or perhaps from the Hermitage of Blessed Lightning. Our little town has been terrorized for weeks, long before you showed up, and I'm so truly sorry that you got caught up in this. I can't really see how anyone from our town would be involved in such cruel villainy. But I can't believe anyone from the Hermitage would do so either. Now, I know these people. They're kind, humble, and pious folk, truly devoted to Gazra. Their master, he is a man named Harlock Hamdi, a fine person, loves animals, nature, and all that druidic whatnot. Honestly, it's truly impossible for me to imagine him countenancing anything like what had happened last night. Even half of the stories I had heard are true. But that, I don't mean we ain't had our differences, of course. Inhabitants had her own challenges lately. There's been little rain, the fields are dry, the heat's withered plants, and we got a cold snap that froze what survived. Winds pulled what's left the topsoil up in the dust storms. Wells and streams have dried up. I never seen them so low. Many vanished completely. Now, I don't mean to come here to heap you with the problems of a town. I apologize for my digression. But some of the things that have been happening around our town, I hear might have aligned with some of what you've had experienced last night. Hemema got attacked by a wild boar in the street just the other day. Our town's miller, Sarah Hofton, her family, they gone missing. I want to blame them if they left town, but I don't believe that's the case. Now, I'd take this up with our sheriff normally, but the hell, no one's seen her either. And this, the professor here, I spoke with him this morning, and I heard what the group of you had done. I heard how you protected innocent people here last night, how you took up arms to protect your own, and I was hoping that maybe, just maybe, you could find it in the goodness of your hearts. Do for us what you did for them. And if you could, I'd gladly head on down to the Hermitage myself, have some words with Harlock about that woman who attacked you last night. I could probably get you admission to the Hermitage, and you can talk to them and see for yourself what fine folk they are.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but you can't include me in that. I didn't do anything. My comrades did, though. They did amazing, and I'll do whatever they want to do, but don't thank me. I did nothing. I was there. Good, though.
I was there in the stands myself that last evening, and I was not one to miss what had happened over on the right side of the stage with that infestation of snakes.
That was nothing. But it did wear me out, which is why I went and slept.
That was, well, I imagine that was, from what I hear, part of this whole misfortune that had taken you. You, without a second thought, all four of you had leapt directly in there, putting yourselves in danger to protect my people. It wasn't something you had to do. It was just something you did.
Snakes. Disgusting little creatures. Have you heard anything of that? Crazy little things.
I haven't heard much. No snakes specifically, no. Most of the animal troubles we've had have been with, again, these roving wild boars. There's been a bear attack even, something that, as far as I know, has never really happened in the history of Abington. Hardly even native to the forests right around the region.
Yes.
It's just been a rotten mess.
At the words bear attack, I want to look at everyone. Did we put the bear back in?
Bodhi, that is another bear. Not our bear. Our bear is... Shush. We'll get to that. I'm whispering this to Bodhi. We'll get to that later. And I'll turn back to the mayor and say, this clearly sounds like these druids are very, very upset. We actually had a pleasant conversation with one last night, and she discussed basically wiping humanity from the face of this region. So, as much information as you can give us about these druids running amok, maybe we could help. But to only have to bribe.
Well, that's just half the thing, ain't it? These druids, as I said, they've got a hermitage. They call it the Hermitage of Blessed Lightning, not far outside of town. Just a couple miles journey up to the northeast along the very coast of the island, built into the cliff face itself. I've only had the pleasure to visit myself a fair couple of times in my years running this town. but they and their leader have never shown me anything but kindness. What I've been hearing and what we've been experiencing ain't nothing I can even explain. That's why I'm heading down there myself. Whether or not you're willing to assist us,
Right. Would you like us to accompany you?
Well, they are, admittedly nice as they are, rather secular and secluded sort of folk. I was hoping to have a good talk with their leader to hopefully arrange an introduction, so that if you wished, I could bring you down there, and then you could see for sure that whatever happened last night was certainly nothing of their doing.
Right. Well, it might be a while. It feels like that would take quite some time. What do you all think?
I don't think it might be the Hermitage. Maybe somebody from there. So if we can get some information, if they had somebody who's not wanting to abide by their rules anymore, we can get some more information about who we encountered and if they were the ones who actually were part of this.
Yeah, what she said.
It's
Well-
better than sitting around here doing nothing.
I had thought you might say much the same, so I had actually sent some of our sideshow off into town to try to canvass the area. Most of the townsfolk were very happy with us after our performance last night, so I figured it would be a fine time to gather some information and learn some things. Hopefully they, I believe, have found a couple of, well, oddities, if nothing else. It might be worth speaking to Tahala, or Hesper and Midas, or Cubby, even, about some of what they may have learned in town.
Then I'll add it to our to-do list. Oh, this quiche is getting cold. I'm gonna go set the quiche up on the table. Little chef, bring the spice, please.
Splat's nose is like following the scent.
I cannot thank you enough. If
So
there,
we're settled. We'll be meeting with Cubby, you said?
Don't
as
taste
well. Right. As well as the tattooed woman and the unjoined twins. I believe they've all found at least something of interest in the town.
Wonderful.
The marriage
Okay.
kind of smiles.
Cubby, I'm writing all this down. Cubby, the tattooed women, and the unjoined twins. I will make sure to visit them. All right.
And they're the three members of your sideshow, so
Right,
they would
right.
be people that you're relative, you're
We
familiar
know
with.
them very well.
Right. I just cannot believe that, the professor, you seem like you've already organized an entire plan for this. I had hoped that, well, it seemed, a part of me thought it might be ridiculous to appeal to the good folk of a traveling circus and surely have so much more to be dealing with than the humble problems of a town they only visited briefly. But I am blown away by your kindness. As I said, I'm going to be heading back to my own humble abode and making for the road out to the Hermitage myself later this afternoon. I should be returned hopefully by sometime tomorrow night. Ideally, with an invitation for the group of you if you wish to come meet with their leader yourselves.
Promising. We'll wait for you then.
I cannot thank you enough for your assistance. I knew, just watching your show yesterday, you weren't just spectacular performers. Good people. You see it in your faces, your eyes right now. Abadah's blessed a lot of you. That's for damn sure. Now, you'll excuse me, I have a journey to prepare for.
No need for your extra vivities and kindnesses. Please take biscuits before you go. I have to get rid of them before the lunch hour. That's how you can think.
You are too kind, and I would be lying to myself if I said the smell was not a damn sight enticing. And I'll take one and one for the road if you don't mind.
Take two. 3 even.
He said he can see kind people in our faces.
It's an
Are they in
expression,
our
dear
faces?
Splat. Oh, goodness.
Saying
I'll
that
explain
you're
it to you
kind.
later.
Oh, that's nice. Wait, so they're not in my face?
They're not in your
No.
face.
Oh, that's
Thank you,
okay.
Maya dear. We'll see you tomorrow.
And with that, the mayor takes his leave from the camp. A couple of kind of nods and half-hearted waves through various crew. Professor looks up to you. Apologies for, I suppose, assuming your response, but, well, I don't know. Maybe the mayor's onto something. Just seemed like the kind of thing people like you would stand to aid with. Besides, they've been kind to us with their purses, and if we earn the leader of the entire town's respect, and we put on a second show here, well, I think there's possibly a lot of coin in it too.
All I can think about is how dangerous things have gotten so quickly, and it would be a shame if he didn't make it back.
Well, he seems quite confident in the character of the druids up at this hermitage, though I will admit it is at least the slightest bit concerning given what we experienced last night. I don't know. I suppose that remains to be seen.
Professor.
Well, if you all are busy eating, I will prepare the twins and the tattooed women and Cubby their dessert for breakfast as they like it. And you all can come with me as I deliver so we can gather our notes, but take your time, no rush.
We should. Professor, what are we going to do about Thunder? You know his wishes?
I feel like I've known the man almost my whole life at this point. Honestly, he gave his entire body and soul to this traveling circus. I meant what I said last night. I can truly think of no better way to carry on his respect than to put on the damn fine show that we did. Beyond that, of course, I will attempt to get into organizations for a proper funeral. There's a church of Abadar in town here, but, well, I believe Cubby has some information on that one.
Okay.
I don't think
I
our
think we
troubles
should
are quite
follow-
over yet.
Yeah, Kasplat, do you want
Yes?
to help with the Tabitha getting the food? I guess we could all carry some trays, Tabitha.
Yeah, I can carry them all. Carry one on each muscle. Look at 'em.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's very kind. Little chef, and you'll just see my little mouse climb up my shoulder. He'll go, "Ee," and I'll be like, yes, we have to do the same thing we always do. I know it's very stressful right now, but go and prepare the rolls. And they'll kind of squeak. They'll be like, yes, sir, and walk off and start prepping up some stuff. And I'll have just 3 trays of cinnamon rolls with some warm milk and what would I put as a palate cleanser? Ooh, some mints. Some mints on the side. And we're off.
This spot's gonna
I'll,
pick it all up. She's
I
got-
will
she's-
supervise.
Don't worry, I got that, sweetheart, and I got that one. Oh no, I don't need any help.
oh.
She's like pushing away anybody who's trying to help her. It's fine, I
Okay.
got this. I didn't get to help yesterday, so let me do this now.
All
All
right.
right.
Check her balance. She likes to get a little super zealous. Yes. And
See you,
we're
buddy
off.
Perp.
I mean, Bodhi Perp's gonna follow along. I'll carry something if
Bodhi.
there's left to be carried.
Carry the tea, please.
I-
Thank you.
maybe-
I can carry that
maybe
too.
I'll carry the
You're
coffee.
full up, Kasplat. You've done more than enough. Thank you. Here,
I'll
take the
carry
tea.
this coffee.
Thank
One
you.
for me. And then pours another one. And then he picks up the
Hey,
pot.
If I don't see you with this tea in less than 2 seconds, you will miss supper tonight.
I don't even have any more hands.
You better accept that threat. Supper's good.
I'll stuff it into his hands and we'll be off. First, I'll pull out my list and I'll say, who should we visit first? I think the twins. They're usually up at this time anyway. Yes, let's go visit the twins.
Yeah, the
They're
twins are a
certainly
good
the
one.
most predictable of the lot. Hesper and Midas, the unjoined twins. Your sideshow. We talked about your sideshow much. Your sideshow is a little interesting. Thunder and the professor weren't really fans of the whole freak show thing. They didn't like what the Celestial Menagerie had, where it was just a display of people who were different for the sake of being different. They really thought that was obviously horribly demeaning, but that so much more could be done. There was so much more room in a sideshow, so they've created what they called the sideshow of everyday wonders. You have the first ones you're coming to visit, the unjoined twins, who Hesper and Midas are just a pair of identical twin sisters who spin a whole bunch of grandiose tales about how they were separated at birth and never knew the other existed until very recently, and all these crazy interlocking stories of how their lives went along such strangely similar paths, unbeknownst, of course, to either of them. For instance, Hesper married a miller named Smith, and Midas married a blacksmith named Miller. That sort of things. It's all nonsense, of course. But the point of the Slideshow Everyday Wonders is that there are stories behind everybody. Everybody has their own source of entertainment, and everybody has their own unique journey and their own way to amuse and entertain and control. But Hesper and Midas would be the most predictable of the lot here. And you would find the pair of them around the front of the big top, as they have still not finished sorting through all of the ticketing and the fees and the concession money with Olive, as last night's show blew absolutely everybody's expectations out of the water. But as they see the group you approach, two of them would both exactly in step with each other smile in identical ways, and then totally in lockstep wave, but in mirrored directions towards you as the group approaches.
Hi.
Sorry, I'm going to break in here with the producer's note quick. We had, just because it might factor in, we don't know. 2 donations came in. One from Digital Gallimafray for basically an ace note for the players. And then one from GM for Life, 1 permanent magic item for each member of the party. Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a big C note dropped, yo.
That's a lot
Thank
of
you. That's a lot.
things.
Merci.
Wow. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Well,
you.
as you approach the stand here, Hesper kind of digs down and starts putting up a bunch of sacks, small jingling bags on the counter. Look at all of these. Can you even begin to imagine the amount of coin that we had coming in last night? It was like Midas picks up from there, continuing almost perfectly. It was like a miracle, actually. The success we had, unfathomable, unprecedented. And back over to Hesper, unbelievable, unimaginable, even. And look at these as well. And starts pulling up a series of small, little, odd trinkets and ins onto the counter. Why don't all 4 of you roll me some d20s?
Ooh, how many?
1 each.
14.
Permanent magical item. Hold on, let me move things here. I'm on the wrong side of this. Okay, who said 14?
I did. Yeah.
Vera. 14. As you look at these here, the first thing you see her pull up is a strange little dime. A capped wood and iron mug with a large emblem carved into the side. And I believe we covered that literally nobody... Oh, wait, not religion. Are you trained in religion?
I am not.
It has inscribed...
I have a base training in religion. Or the
What are the
just
air,
regular
what are the air
first one. Yeah. Just because I'm... Yeah, I don't know. because I'm used to Pathfinder 1, just getting my modifier to it. But
Yeah.
So you're not
T is
trained, but
checked.
you have your modifier. Oh, okay,
No,
you
the
are
T
trained.
is
All
checked.
right.
Yeah.
So Vera wouldn't recognize what this one means, but you would, Bodhi Perp. This mug would have an almost a brass and gold emblem on the side, burnt and paneled into the wood, of another smaller mug. And this you would recognize as a holy devotion to Caden Kalian, the god of freedom and revelry and, of course, drinking. And Vera, as you kind of look at this thing that she has pulled up, this is a bottomless stein here. Lift the top, and it is always full to the brim with delicious ale, no matter how much you drink or spill. If it is emptied, turn it right side up, instantly full again.
I have a new act in the. I'm gonna have a tavern set up now in our circus.
Although somehow,
it's gonna be a bottomless tavern.
If this ale here is meant for drinking, it goes into the mouth or onto the floor, and if it goes anywhere else, you somehow find it on the floor of almost its own volition very shortly afterward. Not made gaming. Thank you for the raid in there. So there's your thing. Somebody else from D20. Got a bunch of things.
15.
15. I have so many tables I have to jump through here. 1 second here. Okay, 15. The second thing that gets picked up here is a strange little necklace, it looks like. It's a black cord, and it looks like the design on the bottom of it is a rather large, almost like full-breasted set of jewelry, which is very kind of pointed, almost like a sun ray arrangement. But as Midas puts it down the table, all the various points of this disperse and kind of scatter around. They're not connected at all. It's actually just a bunch of small stone points, almost like many little knives. This is a necklace of knives, and if you pull a knife off of it, it grows instantaneously into a full-size stone, steel, or wooden dagger for as long as it remains in your hand. And similarly to the stain, no matter how many knives you pull off of this necklace, the number never ceases to go down. There's always more of them.
That's so good.
I love it. This is perfect for me.
That's a great chef one. That worked out fantastically.
Tabitha is so pleased. Takes this. Was this Miter who put this down?
Yes.
This was GM for life.
Oh, I was talking about
Miter was the character that put it down.
Yeah.
Unjoined.
GM for life. Thank you. You are wonderful. You have supplied Tabitha with a wonderful array, and she will go and say, "Now, Miter, what did you find this peculiar piece?" And she'll just yank a knife off. Oh, such masterwork. Oh, beautiful. You see this little chef? And she'll just like kind of hold it up to the little chef's like face. But he's cool with that. Like he's just used to it. So he smells it and he's like and we put it on. Yeah. It's lit.
All right. Who's up next?
Go for it.
I got a 1.
Got a 1.
Ooh,
that's okay.
special.
It's a random table, so that's
Thank
just
God.
a thing. It's a good place
That's
to roll
gonna
a
be
1 because it
cool.
doesn't do bad stuff to you. All right, the third thing that comes up on the counter of this strange little assortment is 1 silver piece. Just 1 coin. And as you see this necklace of knives and this bottomless stein go by, and then a single coin, it's not even like a nice or particularly shiny coin. It looks fairly aged, with the face of it almost having a divot worn into it. There's a physical shallow dip on the front of the coin where it looks like it has just been worn down and worn away, about the size of a thumb. While it may not look
Like
impressive,
a normal person's thumb or like my kind of thumb? You can't thumb discriminate.
The coin's only so big, so I don't...
My thumb's only so big.
Well, your question makes me wonder, first of all, how much different from a normal thumb is Chris thumb, because now I'm concerned.
It's probably thick.
I'm
You
assuming
want
it's
a thumb
big.
more to see.
Yeah, I was gonna say Splat probably has like strong thumbs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Big old tree
two
trunks.
Sam thumbs. That's a Kasplat thumb.
Well, it wouldn't be that big of a divot, but it's not. I mean, it's just not a face of a coin, so it's not super deep.
He's gonna
The
use
good
like
thing
her
the front
pinky
of
to
your
try to
thumb
hit
is
the divot.
And as you touch it, you feel a strange sense of comfort and peace come over you. This is a coin of comfort, and as one action, you can rub the groove and enter an inner state of peace, which will actually reduce any frightened condition that you have immediately by 1.
Ooh.
That's so convenient considering like she can go from raging. She's like, okay, time. Where's my coin?
This
It's a worry stone.
It's
I
beautiful.
wasn't confident on the first one. I had no clue how much of a drinker Vera is, but at least the second two have been like bang on random roll tables for the characters.
Yeah, I mean, I have a
Purple
gnome
you
right
got.
here that has a comfort stone in it, so it makes sense. I rub it.
Comfort gnome.
Right. Perfect.
It is. It's
Comfort
my
gnome.
comfort gnome.
So if your charts are a good place to roll a 1, are they a bad place to roll a 20?
No, I don't. When I
we
put
got-
this together, I don't think this and the wild magic table. I definitely don't think they're sorted like 1 to 20 at all. I'm pretty sure it's in the order that I just added stuff to it. So you're probably fine. Let me see. 20 is. What is this? I actually don't remember what this is.
I
off the top of my
love
head.
that we got opposites. We got a 1 and a 20.
You get a the final item here is a small little green belt pouch emblazoned with a white glyph of the open road, the symbol of the Pathfinder Society in the new era.
Ah,
And it doesn't look like much, but as you open it up, there's easily a dozen little compartments and pockets within this thing, holding all kinds of assorted, just useful little goods. This is an every need pack, and it is a magical little bag. It's kind of like baby's first bag of holding, but it comes pre-supplied with all the basic equipment that you could really need. Every pocket in here can provide a variety of small pieces of any simple object that you require worth like less than a gold. So like flint and steel or chalk or string.
That's
Pretty much.
amazing.
Anything that you feel like you could need that's just a cheap, simple, mundane item, you can pull out of it.
Super convenient.
Can it bring
Super
us
convenient.
caltrops?
Yeah. Love it.
And during that, we got a bunch of follows with Scotty McScotters in the second, Digital, Galamaufry, Tharpy23, and Odious. Thank you, all of you, for joining the show here as well. And as they put these things up on the counter here, your unjoined twins, and the 4 of you kind of look across these neat and exciting things they've come across during their, well, not really sure how exactly they got a hold of all of this, but don't really need to ask questions. It's neat, and you'll take them. So I suppose you're here, the professor sent you. Have you talked to the mayor?
we quite have.
Well, we went out to investigate a little bit of this. The disappearance of the sheriff that the mayor spoke about. It seems that she pretty much just up and left out of nowhere. She's been entirely dependable before this, and again, they're literally just going back and forth, splitting. They're so used to this act. They've practiced it so much, they just do it natively, even just like talking to you guys here. They are very much into their character.
Oh.
But we found that the town of Aberton is not bereft of danger, of course. Every town has its fair share of vandals and criminals. There's actually a gang called the Muggers. They don't call themselves that, but the reason you might think, they don't mug people. They operate out of a tavern called the Mad Mug on the outskirts of town. And they drink all day, cause trouble during the night. we heard that the sheriff's been trying to break up the group of muggers for some time now. So it's not impossible that they had something to do with her disappearance. Maybe she tried to finally step up and do something, and they thought that maybe it'd be easiest to take her out of the picture. Those last couple words, back and forth each individual word as they say it.
Fascinating.
After we've pieced together that sentence, I'll consider the word, the name, the title, the muggers. Ugh, what a name. You think we'll find more answers there with these mug enthusiasts?
And they both sort of shrug in unison. It's the best we've found.
Okay, I'll write it down. Another places for us to visit. Were you all bothered by yesterday's events? I don't know if you came into any encounters with any snakes or rats or whatnot. And I know the crickets were a bit much.
Well, we were rather fortunate, I suppose. Since we have to run the front end while the shows are going, we didn't really have to run into any of these terrible things we heard about afterward. Whether it's for better or for worse, we didn't even hear about, and they both in unison say, thunder, until after.
Oh, I know, it was a tragedy. Well, if you ever need anyone to talk to, visit me during kitchen hours. I'll be sure to bring great snacks and we can discuss it while I prep for our next lunch hour. But we will be off. We have to go talk to the tattooed women. If there's anything that you know or discover, please ring a bell. Okay?
And you hear the voice of Tahala from behind you. And you need to talk to me about what exactly? Oh, you want to know about the Millers?
My goodness, you scared me. Oof.
You turn around to see Tahala, who is a very vertical Shawanti woman. She's about 6'6". How tall are you, Dulce? You're catfolk. You might be kind of up there.
I'm tall, but I'm not that tall. I'm probably about like 5'9".
So she would absolutely loom over all of you. And she's not just tall, she is very well built as well. And generally wears very little beyond like an incredibly simple leotard and sometimes a traveling cloak as part of her show of the sideshow to show off near every inch of her skin is covered in incredibly intricate tattoos and inkwork of an array of dull and muted colors across her whole body like a tapestry. And she just kind of raises an eyebrow. In the morning sun, her shaved head gleaming here, and sort of smiles down at you. Apologies. I am always surprised by how well I find I sneak up on people, given I am not exactly subtle.
Right.
Well, we weren't
so
exactly
we've
paying
talked.
attention.
Yeah,
Do
well,
you want
we've
some
talked
tea?
about this.
If I don't give you tea, Tabitha will be mad at me.
Yes, please. Tahala, please take your tea. You know you need it every morning, so you can ease those joints. I know being so tall can't be so easy on your bones. But please do not sneak up behind us again. It is rude. Now, we do have some questions to ask you. Do you all want to ask Tahala any questions before I get started?
No, I mean, just know what she found out in town, mostly.
Yeah, that
think we-
honestly.
Well, I figured it would be easiest for me to investigate the, what was it, the Millers that the mayor said had disappeared. People do not open up to me as well as they do to the twins, or especially to Cubby. But the disappeared family, I figured I could at least look into. I can take care of myself. I traveled out to their mill. It is infested with wasps. Very unpleasant, admittedly. But Nothing seemed terribly out of the ordinary, save for their incredibly aggressive attitude.
Oh.
Insects do not bother me. Normally they are no nuisance if you do not bother them, but these things were small and hateful. It's as if everything you have ever heard people say about wasps was suddenly true, that they exist only to sting and kill and cause pain. I left very quick.
That's quite interesting, considering that's another nature taking over. We've seen a lot of mass amounts of small critters, rats, snakes, and now wasp.
As far as I could tell, the Millers did not appear to be home in my brief investigation, but I did not travel much inside. The front door was unlocked, the mill was still operational, its grindstone, in fact, was still turning. Cannot imagine they simply abandoned it, but it is as if they just walked out of the door and left.
Does this... She's gonna kind of lean in. Does this town have an infestation? Do we need to call like an exterminator?
Well, if anything, it has an infestation of rogue druids. These animals... Tahala, these wasps, was there something off about them at all? They
They were
weird.
incredibly aggressive. They definitely did not seem to act as their kinds normally do, but I am no wasp expert.
They didn't look off either, just acted weird.
They looked... I did not really take much effort to inspect them. And she kind of turns and pulls her cloak to the side, where her leotard's open on the side. You can see there is, up her side, a cluster of big red welts. They were very upset with me already.
Oh, goodness. Oh, darling. Oh, we'll have to fix that up. Go to the kitchen. You'll find some salves. If you throw some fish oil on that, it will heal it up pretty nicely. And it'll make it feel better. Okay. Thank you, Tahala. I'll be sure to write that on my list. Angry animals, everyone?
Yeah. Definitely gonna be a
That's the
problem.
sign.
It-
Right.
Are we just assuming that the sheriff got eaten by that bear?
Probably.
Well, Bodhi, I would not want to assume that, but it is very high up on the list, so I'll write that down as well.
Has a body been found?
I'm guessing not. They said, the mayor said that there was no traces of them. Ugh,
I mean,
Oh,
Horrid.
okay.
horrid. Let's finalize all of this with Cubby. Now, where is Cubby?
As you're looking around in front of the big top here, you see Cubby trotting back in towards the tent from Intown. And Cubby, the dog-faced dog, is the favorite of the sideshow among all the good little boys and girls, as he is just a big Australian shepherd. It is a dog. He's the dog-faced dog. And he's got a big ol' fancy rope collar that goes around his neck and under the shoulders of his forelegs. And there's almost like a little backpack on his back where he can carry messages around and various basic things. Cubby's a very good boy. He's very smart and he's a great service to the circus. He's pretty long hair. The Australian Shepherd, kind of mostly white, but with like the black and the brown sort of splotches going down his back and down his hind legs. He's trotting in and he looks over and sees the group of you and pivots towards your direction as Tahala heads back towards the common area to get some food back towards the kitchens. He trots over, just kind of sits down and looks up at the group of you and almost huffs
Cubby!
a little bit.
Well, Cubby would have homemade milk bones for breakfast, along with, of course, a bowl of water and jerky. Yeah, keep the teeth clean. Hello, Cubby. Good morning. Here's your tray. Does anyone have speak with animal?
Nope. I'm gonna just pet him. And
You
see if
know
he has
that
any notes
joke
in his
I
backpack.
told, like the third time, right? Cubby's an enlightened Australian Shepherd. Did I mention that he can talk?
Oh. I'm still gonna
know,
pet him.
Cubby. I just mess with you from time to time. Now, I heard you were amongst the people, and you were investigating on the mayor's behalf?
I thought, well, I imagine you're all perfectly smart folk. Obviously, them druids at the Hermitage, right?
I suspect so myself, but the mayor doesn't seem so convinced.
It's true.
I hate these weird nature folk. You know, they're always the worst for me to deal with. Always thinking it's so demeaning or animal abuse or whatever. Like I ain't having a good time getting fed hanging out with the circus. I hate druids. Well, the druid hermitage is pretty far away. I didn't want to walk that far. But there's a church in town. I figured I'd go sniff around there and see what I could find out. It's dedicated to Abadar, not Gazra. Kind of the opposite thing, really. I always have a hard time keeping these gods straight. Gazra's the wind and storm and nature and whatnot. And Abadar is... Ain't that literally just the god of being rich?
I would assume so. I'm not the most religious of types. Okay. You sniffed around the church, and did you find anything? Other than these religions? Gods?
I was sniffing around the back fence, and I'm smelling something real foul inside that graveyard they keep around it. It's rotten and wrong. It don't just smell like dead. It smells, I don't know, like an old cow left in the sun for a few days. Or
That
weeks,
sounds like dead. Or jerky.
years. Something's
Yes. Ugh.
Something's wrong. It ain't a natural kind of scent entirely. If you head out to look in the church, I didn't think it was safe to go in. I'd be careful.
That's good information.
Well,
I appreciate you
thank
letting
you.
us know.
Hey,
No.
Tabitha. Milkbones are great and all, but I've been hearing talk of these sin buns. Can I try one of those, or is that one of those things that's gonna upset my stomach?
You know, let me make something that's a little more appropriate for your stomach. But you can absolutely try the dough. A little bit of the dough. And it'll have a little extra cinnamon like rubbed on the sides, and I'll toss him some.
Oh.
I'll just catch in his mouth and snap that up. Yep. I'm gonna regret that later. I hate being a
Probably.
dog.
Oh,
Poor
please,
Cubby.
don't worry. I'll make a variation called peanut buns. And it'll have peanut butter all over it with your favorite... What is your favorite bow? We'll find out later. I'll start writing up a recipe right now. I'm gonna start thinking about
I have to make it very pronounced. People at home, do not give your dog cinnamon.
No.
Wait, you can't?
No, do
Is
not
cinnamon bad for them?
AF.
Don't
Probably
give it to
not.
anyone.
It's like the third time it's happened on this channel.
I believe
Whoa.
Don't give your
Y'all,
pets
this is
any sort
pretend.
of dough, bread. Don't give them any sort of like. There's some spices you really need. Just read, search it all before you give it to them. Just do that.
Don't
So
give your pet
puppies.
anything you haven't thoroughly Googled, please.
But Cubby is a talking dog, so we'll make exceptions
Magic.
for Cubby.
And we got magic healing
He
if
can-
there's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can make the
Sentient.
intelligent decision to eat bad choices, like how I have Kraft mac and cheese 3 times a week and I'm lactose intolerant. I can
Yeah.
make that decision because I'm
All
a
the
person.
cheese.
You're an adult, damn it.
I'm an adult. I'm gonna have my Kraft mac and cheese. Anyway, Covey laughing this up, tongue kind of lolling out of his mouth as you talk about this recipe. I do love me some peanut butter. Well, don't go die at the Church of the Rich God. I'm gonna go sniff around that one tree. I got a feeling that other damn dog been by. I'm gonna pee on his pee. And he heads off back on the side of the big dog.
Wait, did you
No,
just say what I think you said?
Probably.
You say I'm gonna pee on his pee?
Yep.
Mhm.
Territory
goodness.
dispute.
My favorite.
Dogs.
As
Go on.
enlightened as he
fine.
is,
Dogs.
as
ugh.
enlightened as
Still a dog.
Cubby is, he still has dog instincts. Still very much a dog.
Yes. They're very robust creatures. Well, we have all of the notes that we can possibly gather. Some things going down at a church, and the disappearance of a family at the mill, and a lot of wasps. And do you remember the first one that the twins gave us?
They said that there was the muggers, like the gang.
Ah, right.
They operate out of that tavern.
Yeah,
Oh, yes. The
I
muggers.
mean,
We could go and check that out and maybe pass some flyers around. Promote the show.
Flyers.
I mean,
Right.
yes.
that
Absolutely.
could work.
Okay.
You get some information. Can listen around.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with the fact that we're probably going to a bar, correct?
I have a mug that I never need to go to a bar again. Ever. We'll go to the bar still, though. Maybe I can get a second mug.
It's more
Wonderful.
about the environment than the act of drink.
Right. Okay, well, everyone grab your snacks and we'll be off. I'll meet you at the front of the circus top. Don't be late. You have 15 minutes.
Because Splat's grabbing tons of snacks. Every pocket she's got. And then like a chipmunk, she's got like 2 cinnamon buns in each cheek.
Vera's
Yeah,
gonna
the
run
idea.
home and change real quick back to her wagon and grab her crossbow.
I just love the idea of Tabitha handing out little like sack lunches every time we leave. It's like the best.
Party mom.
Every time.
That's it.
So I have here a map of the fine town of Aberton. And thanks to the magic of Roll20, is actually to scale. So you can,
Jeez.
if you so please, use the ruler tool to get any kind of real concept of distances in here. It's not a terribly
Yes.
large place, but you would easily be able to get directions to any of the 3 locations that you had been told about. The Mad Mug, you guys see this ping when I do this?
Mhm.
Is down here to the southeast, almost like on the outskirts of the town of Aberton here, out towards the southern fields. A bit detached from the main body of the town itself. Almost smack in the middle is the Church of Abadar, one of the larger establishments surrounded by the town's cemetery, which is not very large and doesn't need to be, as there's only a couple hundred people that live here, even if that. Where up here on the northwestern side is the Hofton's Mill. You can even see on the image here the little water wheel sticking out to this northern river turns the grindstone within the building. Either of those, or any of those 3 locations, would be a fine place to start your investigation.
I think we wanted to go to the bar.
Heck yeah.
Well,
So the Mad
mm-hmm.
Oh, I was gonna
Oh, so
say.
the Oh.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. I was gonna say we could just go over the river.
Yeah. You can.
Okay.
Your camp is way up here in the northeast, so you can easily either just make your way down to this main bridge, or you could deal with this. Then the river's never particularly large, but if you wanted to go straight to the Mad Mug, you could go across the southern river here, get a little splashy, get a little adventurous on your way down there.
Ew, swimming. Ugh. Yeah, I'm a cat. I don't really like water.
Yeah, you can sit on my shoulders if you want. I'm pretty dense, so I kind of sink. But as long as there's at least like 2.5 feet of depth, and I can kind of, let my head be above, and you can sit above me, I'll carry you past. But other than that,
Maybe there's a
I might
ferry or
sink.
something.
Which is
Didn't
quite
you
the
say
option.
that the water was gone?
Is the water gone?
Well, the water is low. That's what I mean by the stream's not like a huge crossing. You can see, even from the river around your camp and this little bit of forest here near your big top, that the line where the water normally is would be a full foot above where it's currently resting. Down in this more main river where the two of them join together, at worst it would get waist for a human.
Oh.
It's very low.
All right, you want to get on my
It's not
shoulder?
California.
I carry you.
I guess we could take the bridge. I thought it was gonna be a lot smaller.
If I look, would it
And,
look like the Splat would drown if they walk through this river?
I mean, maybe neck deep for Kasplat, but she could make it. That's the good news. The potentially bad news is that Arcadis has thrown what appears to be literally everything to Cubby. And by Cubby, I mean the GM. Does this give me an every power that there is? Am I saying this correctly?
You have all of the things now. You have an ace note, a red light, a sawbuck, and a fold. So
Oh my.
Oh no.
Oh, yes.
Maybe we don't go through the river. Let's not go through the river. He can give us a -6.
We'll go. Oh,
And as well, thank you to Solution 007 for the follow.
thank you. I'm gonna escort everybody to the bridge.
Yeah.
This is a wise
Heading
decision.
towards the bridge, if you want to go through the town, the Mad Mug would definitely be the furthest, as it's like a half-mile walk through literally all of Everton to get there. But it is a tavern, so at least there's drinks at the end.
I already have one.
Right.
So it would be a walk of some 15 minutes to the sparse town at a leisurely pace here, before you came into view of this roadside tavern. It's not very big. It's just a one-story little building with a relatively broad porch on the west side, facing out the road as it passes within about 20 feet, with a sort of rough, gravelly walkway approaching it. You can see 4 less desirable gentlemen and women upon the porch, who look like the kind of sorts that finer folk would go out of their way to avoid interacting with on a daily basis. This is almost certainly the gang of muggers that you've been directed to, and the sign hanging out front, wooden placard kind of just dangling in the breeze on a pair of chains, has a mug widening up at the top, the froth exploding out of the top. Carved into the sign, actually carved into the top post the sign is hanging from, with some very crude, angry eyes on the front of it. This is the Mad Mug across the bottom.
I love it so much.
Right. I guess this is the place.
Yeah. I guess we're gonna have to
And
talk
as-
to them.
Oh, they are on and around the porch near the door. And as you kind of get closer on the road, the 4 of you traveling along here, one of them nearest kind of turns all the way around to put his hands on the railing on the outside of the porch, elbows up, and just leans out towards her direction. What in the nine hells is that I see? And a damn cat walking like it's a person? And the woman next to him just kind of elbows him. Avery, what is wrong with you? How is that what you pick on? Not a dwarf woman with a beard! Everything they said about the dwarves is true! Don't tell Piranha! And they both just kind of bust out laughing.
You see Splat kind of getting a little veiny in her neck. And she's she's getting a little angry. And you see her grab her arm. She's like, let me at him. Oh, I'll show him how to.
Now,
Look! This little beard that looks like she's ready for a fight! It's adorable!
Oh, they did. They did. Someone better hold me back. They about to be dead.
now,
Splat, wait a minute.
Splash. I'll hold my claws out. Splat, we must carry ourselves with class. We may work in very interesting backgrounds, but you do not give fools or ruffians any time of your day.
And remember, you wanted
I'm
to
gonna
be
cast
nice
Prestidigitation.
You wanted to be friends with the druid that killed us. These are just ruffians.
Well, the druid who was talking to y'all and being mean was making fun of you. That's different. You don't pick on people because you think you're better than them. Because that's wrong. That just means you're puny. And you need to learn a lesson.
And I want
I
to
don't
subtly
disagree
cast
with you there.
Prestidigitation again on the one that seems to be the ringleader and make him smell like shit. Like he just let go of his bowels.
I love it. That's great.
The four of
Well,
you
you made
are
my
in the
job
road,
easy. I was just going to squeeze it out of them.
and they're looking at you. We're in
Just
the road.
on sight.
Zero hesitation. And you look at this dude in his eyes and cast a spell.
Yep.
And he smells.
Subtly. I want to subtly do it.
So, to clarify, before I'll give you a mulligan here because you're new to this. The Pathfinder 2nd Edition is like Harry Potter casting. You go abracadabra and do a big motion and cast the spell. It's
not just
subtle.
hand movements?
Very obvious.
Yeah. It's verbal, somatic, and things like that.
Yeah,
So, like,
you are
can
literally
move the
saying
hand.
an incantation and doing the hand movements.
If he comes at
And
you.
like,
Alright.
just
No, I'm
so
still gonna
you
make
know,
him feel like
it's-
shit.
So you stare at him and do this,
Yeah.
and he kind of like you see him like shuffle back a bit because you have no idea what you're casting. I don't know what you're casting.
Exactly.
Goodness.
And you see the guy take a step back, and the woman wrinkle her nose and push herself back in the car away from him. Oh.
I can fix that if you want to be nice.
Avery, I think that little wizard just shit yourself. And the guy steps out from the other side, just in front of the porch, arms crossed towards the group of you, and wrinkles his nose. He hasn't said anything yet. He doesn't find it particularly funny. Ain't nothing up here for the likes of you, lads. Just keep on moving. This guy spits the ground next to him.
Don't worry, we want to be close to you anyway. You stink.
Ugh.
No, but we did.
Disgusting.
We wanted to get the information.
Not next to them. No,
But
we
they,
can go to the people. They
Oh,
ain't the
but
only
have we?
people in this town.
Are you
He
the
kinda
ones
looks like-
running this fine establishment?
He kind of looks back towards the door. I don't think that's quite any business of yours. Oh, come on. You clearly speak the common tongue. Getting, but you still can.
Oh, what world do you all live in? I want to pull out my notes and I want to talk about how like the mayor sent us to talk to them and see if I can roll a diplomacy to get
As you're
them to
pulling
listen.
this out, pushing up your glasses and readying for the diplomacy here.
Yes.
Avery jumps over this banister, infuriated, points out towards Vera. I'm gonna beat your ass, girl! And comes running at her.
Can I block?
Before
Here?
that happened. Oh god.
And we should take a break before that happens, I think, is what we should
Right.
do.
We should.
That's I think that's a
Well,
perfectly good space to put the pause on this for a moment. And when we come back, if you don't want to get any closer, that's fine. He's gonna bring the smell to you. It looks
Gross.
exactly
Literally.
how we're gonna
Gross.
deal with that.
I'm gonna give him the
you.
smell of a rotten corpse.
Thank you.
The wrong sound is never right. Don't let the wrong sound ruin the moment at your gaming table. Sirenscape has dozens of sound sets designed by gamers for gamers that add the atmosphere you need for epic tabletop gaming. See? The right sound sounds right. Epic games need epic sound. Journey to Sirenscape.com to download the app for free. And be sure to catch Sirenscape in action on Dragons and Things every Friday night at 6 p.m. Pacific on Twitch.
The Tale of Garand and Friends, Part 4. The loot at last was returned. Justice! A lesson or two was learned. Friends became foes, then a leader was chosen. Because of me, thank you. And we are walking in circles again and again and again and again. Anon, forsooth, methinks is't I, Roll, a dragon. Slithalava, sal. What? Is that Alex back there? I think so. Why wouldn't it be? I don't know, she just looks different. Why don't you go ask her? I think Craig should. Hey, Craig! Craig! Is that Alex back there?
Really not in the mood for one of your silly games.
It's not. Look!
I have no idea.
Go ask her.
No. Not gonna do that.
Oh, you boys are pathetic. I'll do it.
Yep, that's Alex.
As I go over the argument in my head, I can't help but feel I was tricked somehow. I mean, I know that seeking out a dragon on purpose is stupid. I know that we are all very, very likely to meet a terrifying and extremely grisly end. And yet, here I am. This place is great. I mean, creepy trees, the spider webs of completely unrealistic proportion. General feeling of impending doom. Good news is we are likely to die before we ever get to a dragon.
I don't know. Kind of like the vibe. It's like, ooh, la, la.
If you start playing creepy music, I will cause vital parts of you to explode.
What's this? Who dares to disturb my shadowy lair?
Stay back, Hellspawn.
Your pathetic mortal weapons will do you no good. I am the master of darkness and the ruler of the undead.
Wait, are you wearing makeup?
No. So, vampires have very uneven complexions. Cower before me.
Are you serious?
Your will is mine to command. Strike down these fools for your master. Strike them. Strike them. Start with that one. She's right next to you. Just strike. Strike her, please.
Listen, I know this may come as a great shock to you, but you're not a vampire.
Yeah, I am a vampire, okay? God, I can be anything I want to be. It's worse than my mother.
Okay. This is silly. Get out of the way.
2 damage. Yeah, but now you gotta put your arm behind your back, because I cut it off, which is clearly in the rules, so I'm not really sure why you don't just go ahead and, critical hit.
He's only a kid.
Not really a kid, 16.
Now is not the time to disagree with me, boy. Same team, okay? Look, trust me. A little diplomacy is gonna go over a lot better than... Look, I know that being a teenager is really, really hard, but my friend's dad is buried here, and we just want to visit his grave real quick and then move on.
Yeah, they're gonna stay?
No, we'll be out of here before you know it.
If you guys all wanted to stay, kind of have a game of Labyrinths and Lizardmen all set up.
Oh, really? Oh, great. It's too bad we're on a real quest.
Well, I don't know if you guys are aware, but I could totally help out because I am a 6th level vampire necromancer in my LARPing guild, which kind of makes me the most powerful member of my group. So, what's with that loot?
Oh, well, I'm a bard, so...
Why? That's the dumbest class ever.
All right, I'm done. Craig, smash away.
I don't know. Now I'm thinking of making him your replacement. I mean, 6th level vampire necromancer? Kind of a no-brainer.
Really?
No. You're a whiny bitch and I hate you.
Hey, Craig, is that fair? All this kid needs is some direction. You can hang out with me.
What?
Look, I can't stand the guy, all right? But when we look at this chart, we can see that while the kid is clearly annoying, the amusement factor of pissing Greg off makes this a solid investment of both my time and energy. Sure, you can be my apprentice. I'll teach you some real necromancy.
Awesome.
Great. Perfect. Let's just go.
These guys, these guys are really lucky that they found me. I mean, after 3 years of guild leadership experience, I mean, I'm obviously going to bring some skills to the table that these guys are definitely lacking. I mean, did you see that guy with the loot? So when do I get to learn to animate skeletons? Because I really want to animate a bunch of skeletons and beat up this guy named Johnny Mullen. He's this big stupid jerk who thinks he's so awesome because, oh, he's a squire and he gets laid all the time. Whatever. Because I bet once I'm a powerful wizard like you, it's probably going to be getting laid all the time. I mean, at a minimum, Kim's definitely going to see her boobs. Wow. The best part is that next time my mom tries to make me do the dishes, I'll be like, skeletons, bitch. Why don't you do the dishes? Ha! Yeah,
Okay.
It's going to be pretty awesome.
We are here, so shut your fucking mouth forever while I try to figure out what we're going to do next.
Why do you never know what to do?
Hey, It was hard enough trying to figure out where the guy was buried. I don't know if you've noticed, but we are a long way from home.
A long way from...
And there is nothing here that is going to help us. So, we are going to dig.
What? I'm not digging up a dead body.
To be fair, there is not much of a body in there.
Ah, there's a body in here, though.
What's this?
This is you being a good apprentice and doing my bitch work. Don't sigh. You'll be a real necromancer. You're gonna have to get used to digging things up. Let's go. Chop, chop. Ah!
Yeah, I've got it, don't worry.
Yeah. I just dug that.
Wait, what did... No, right here. What do you...
Yeah, why'd you... Good job. Yeah, It's not even the right hole. They told you like how many times. Not the right place. You want to get that?
Yep. Right on my boot. Right.
Did you touch... You're not touching me.
Gold! Gold! See that? I did it.
Yep. You found him.
Wow. You were not kidding. There really isn't a lot left. I call his hammer. Chicken, bone.
Welcome back, everybody, to the greatest bar brawl on Earth, I guess, is the thing that we are now. As it turns out that, well, gang members don't like it when you guess you smell like crap on them.
Well,
You
it's
didn't
their fault for
respond
being
well.
mean.
He was being extremely rude in your defense.
They say
I
you
don't
are
blame
what you
at
smell
all.
like.
Well, as we had left off before our break, we had begun our investigations into the town of Aberton, which seems to have its own fair share of woes, somewhat along the same lines of that that befell our opening night. A lot of, you could say, natural disasters, angry animals, pissed off bees, and other unpleasant things that nobody really wants to deal with. Our first avenue of investigation we took seemed like it was the most straightforward. A gang called the Muggers on the outskirts of the town where we had performed. And I believe we were just about to commence the throwing of hands with some inaugural initiative for this session here.
Ooh.
So, everybody, if you would like to roll me some perception for initiative. Aye.
You said
We'll be
roll
rolling for a lot of
perception?
these. Perception, yes.
Got a higher score now.
You're literally. Ooh, I got a nat 20 on the first guy. You're literally everything should be higher because of the way that Pathfinder 2nd Edition works. Whenever you're
Roll
trained
that
in
again,
any.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, just do it again.
Okay. Yeah, I was
Whenever
like, what
you're
just happened?
trained or better in a skill, you add your level to it directly. So generally, every time you level up, almost every number on your sheet is going to increase by at least one. So you will linearly get better at everything, just passively through leveling on top of whatever you're actually specializing in. So, I have Tabitha at the top of this list. What did you get?
I got a 10.
Solid. Loaded per.
Solid.
23.
Ooh.
Rolled the 19.
Splat.
22. Rolled a 15, but plus 7.
And Vera.
I also rolled a 10. Not prepared for the consequence of my own actions.
I'm going to take a moment to appreciate the absolute poetic justice that the guy who won initiative is the one who smells like shit. And he comes. It's this gentleman. And let me move us over to our battle map here. There we go. It is this gentleman right here who just hopped this fence and absolutely furious comes sprinting right by, elbow cocked, fist up at the ready, as he just runs across dirt at Vera. I'm gonna make you shit yourself! And swings.
Uh-oh. I'm very distracted by the smell of poop.
For an 11, he too is very distracted by the smell of poop.
Definitely does not hit me.
Not expecting you to do anything other than just kind of stand there. He's a little bewildered by you making absolutely any attempt to dodge him intelligently, and just kind of pulls the same hand back and swings it again in disbelief. For a 15.
Still can't hit me. Too fast.
Not doing great. Bodhi perp. You're muted, Chief.
Yep. Just wanted to let
No,
you sit in
gentlemen,
that
let's not start something we can't finish. It won't be well. And then I'd like to just whack this dude right in the head with my staff. Two-handed, just bonk.
Can you reach his head with your staff? You gnome?
I mean, come on. I'm 3 foot. I got a 3-foot staff.
Give me an attack roll. He's a fairly intimidating guy. But he's not particularly large.
It's an 18 on the die, plus 4. 22 to hit.
22 critically hit. They're not wearing any armor or anything. They're just in like
Expect to
regular
suck.
street clothes. So that's
Don't pick
Don't start a fight you can't finish.
I just take this like gnarled wooden staff that's half burnt at places and just donk him on the head for 12 damage.
Bonk, and he is immediately just crumples like a sack of potatoes on the ground as you whack him over the head with a solid hit.
I'm a wizard.
Wow.
Did you murder him? Is he still breathing?
You said.
That was
That poopy boy?
just a regular attack, right? That was just like bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, it was just straight bludgeoning from my staff, two-handed.
Yeah, that cracked his skull open. He's bleeding out on the floor. You've got 2 hands.
Can I for my remaining 2 actions, can I try and intimidate the other ones through on the way?
Yeah, probably. You just murdered this dude, so yeah.
I just want to look at him and go, roar! Yeah, this is, intimidate, so... I got a math, 8 plus 5, 13.
With the 13, they look pretty shook. You're not sure if it's because of, your intimidation or the fact that you just literally murdered a guy. But the guy in the front told you all to kind of move on here is definitely right. And you don't want to action left still.
He came at us. He was coming for us. That's all I'm doing.
It's splat.
So I want to, seeing that Bodhi Perp tried their best in intimidation, I want to also be glaring at the one in front and down to try to intimidate them, to tell everybody to skedoodle. She's gonna crack her knuckles and everything and crack her neck and just start building up you better run or you about to die. So I'm gonna roll to intimidate. I also have intimidating glare.
You don't have to say anything. Yeah, you can just look at him.
Oh, I'm looking at him already. There's no way I got a nat 20. And that's
We're just messing everybody up.
Circus fold is different breed.
I feel like her glare is more painful than any punch could be, and she's just. And then she'll do a little eyebrow raise, and be like,
Yeah,
that's. And just look at him.
Gonna pretty easily critically succeed on the guy who is already frightened. This
Get him out of
dude
here.
up the front, he does not look like he wants to be here anymore. You have 2 actions left.
Could I? Okay. I want to use my fist, but I don't want to kill the man's. I want to.
I think we're a little past that. But
I want to go up. No, this one. I want to go up to him and
Just have to declare it non-lethal.
Yeah. It's gonna be a non-lethal.
well, fists are just
Attempt.
non-lethal, so you're okay.
They are? Okay.
Okay, thank God. Yeah, because she just kind of wants to maybe break his wrist. No, it's non-lethal, but it'll teach him a lesson. Right?
I don't know who I'm traveling
Yeah.
with. I don't know my own truth at all.
Violent carnies all of a
Yeah,
sudden.
this
Okay.
went very dark.
I thought it was a crit.
Nobody. I'm just breaking a wrist. You know.
You
He'll
can
heal. Go to a
just-
doctor.
Both of you
you
are scaring me.
can make an attack roll. Yeah, I mean it's not gonna kill him. Fists are non-lethal. You can.
Good. Awesome.
They have like health potions of a kitten.
21 to hit.
He is frightened too, so a 21 will critically hit because that lowers his AC by 2.
Cool. Roll my damage.
No one even needed my buffs. Not a single one.
7.
Is that the? That's not the
Just
critically
damage.
hit, so that's before doubling, so 14. I would
Oh,
assume.
Is
Yeah,
that two
critical hit is
wrists?
just X2. You walk up to this guy, and he goes from terrified to the ground. What do you do to him?
he's not dead, right?
No, this is
Okay.
completely non-lethal. So you're
Cool.
putting him
I'm
out of
just,
the
like,
fight in a way that
quadruple
does not kill
checking.
him. Yeah,
All right.
you're good.
She's gonna do now. She's feeling a little spacey. You know, my mama always told me to season my food. She's gonna kick dirt in his face and just leave it at that.
This is why you shouldn't be mean to people.
She just wants to humiliate him.
Well, they clearly have learned that they made poor decisions today. I think they got that one largely covered. So
They went from let's be mean to them to 2 of them just on the ground in 6 seconds.
yeah,
I'm
instantly on
gonna
the floor.
bully them.
Only one of them is having his mortal blood seep into the ground. The other one's just doesn't have any wrists and is unconscious on the ground, or at least pretending to be hoping that you'll stop hurting him. The one at the southern end here, seeing all this happen to spend about 3 seconds, is going to freaking panic.
Yep, that's a good idea.
He's gonna run the door of this and just kind of bang on the door and call out, Prana, help us! And turn towards you guys, look at Kasplat, and reach under his shirt to his waistband and pull out a knife and hold it out
We
towards
about
you.
the real fight.
He's a little spooked now. That guy in the street is clearly not well, and he is gonna go intimidate you back. This is gonna be a roll against your will DC, so it's your will save modifier plus 10.
Will save? Where do I find that? Silly question.
Oh, yeah, on Pathfinder.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like top middle.
Oh, there it
of
is.
the
I see
set.
it. I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, so what am I rolling? Sorry.
You're not rolling anything. It's he's gonna roll
Oh.
something, and if you need 10
Oh.
plus your will mod is what he needs. He's gonna get a 22.
Oh yeah.
Knife has come out. So
She's gonna be a little bit like, whoa, I didn't bring out any weapons. You know, I was just a fist. Why are you bringing weapons out? That's not fair.
and you are gonna be frightened 1 as well, which is a -1 to your attacks and checks and your DCs.
Okay.
Vera.
Rub your
Yeah.
your coin.
I am going to see that Booty Perp just wrecked this guy in front of me, not realizing that we were gonna really destroy them. And I'm going to cast Soothe on the dying person in front of me to see if I can try and put his brains back in his head.
Solid damage control. Okay. So, D10 plus 4, I believe is what Soothe is.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. 1d10 plus 4. So 1d10 plus 4. He has 9 points of health back.
Just back up to full health. Wow, Bodhi Perp, big old two-handed Giga Crack, and just catches him right in the soft spot at the top of the temple. What does your soothe look like here?
It kind of looks like how her grim tendrils before had that dark energy purple around her, and it almost feels like that moment he's coming out of sleep, and that's how he feels as he's coming up out of unconsciousness. The ground around her is purple, and everything goes cold, very cold.
This man, who looked absolutely motionless, his eyes kind of flutter open on the floor. His eyeballs sort of rolling in his head as he looks around. Kind of just crumpled where he landed on the ground, with Vera magic emanating out of her, the ground turning colors, Bodhi Perp with this bloody freaking staff standing over him. You see panic in this guy's face. If one action
Maybe
left.
I'm actually gonna use that just to talk to him and tell him we really just wanted to talk. So you might want to decide something else than fighting us.
Bottom of your turn, he is gonna get up and just take off running down the road out of town. Just blind sprint, pull himself up on the ground, just away. Tabitha.
Tabitha wants to get. I wanted to take a 5-foot step, but I think Bodhi Perp is right there. So for now, I think you can handle yourself, Kasplat. I'm going to walk up and cast Fear. I want to walk right here. Let me see. There we go. I want to walk here and cast Fear on that one. How do I highlight them?
Yeah. You can click and hold on them to ping.
Got
like
it. That one.
The guy with the knife out. All right.
Yeah. I'm going to cast Fear. And that means you basically have to make a will save. And depending on whatever you get, you got it. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Oh, well, I'm going to tell you that his will is raid. Probably.
Yeah. I believe it.
How many things do I have? Oh
yeah, I'm attacking the GM, who has a lot of things at the moment. Oh god.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh.
He got a 13. I'm gonna add
an 8.
a D6 to that.
Roll it. Roll it
Got a
and
5
fail.
up.
Ooh.
5 up armor save. Come on. 3. 16. Still gonna fail.
Yeah. I would have gave it to you if you're like 1 down. But no. An 18. So, I guess it's a failure, so it's not a critical failure, so you're frightened 2.
Yep.
I look at that guy, and the knives that are on my neck, he just sees me like yank one off of my necklace, and I'm just staring at him with my cold, dark eyes, and I hiss. And that should scare him. And that's the end of my turn, because that takes up 2 standards.
So it was today I understood the carnival horror movie trope. I got. Yeah. It's starting to make a lot of sense here. Okay.
Don't mess with the carnies.
This woman up here who had been teasing Splat and all this going on, and she sees Vera. She's looking at Vera. Sees you bring this man up, and he takes off running. She steps up towards the railing. What in the hell's kind of black magic is this? You some kind of witch? You the one what been doing all this with the town and the rains and the freezing? And she has not mechanically been intimidated yet, but I would say is pretty frightened anyway. And she's gonna look back towards the door. The other guy's still pounding on it, calling for help. And at the top of initiative here, that door is gonna open. It's the opposite thing. That was hide area. I wanted reveal area. Here we go. And you would see a woman inside that doorway. As she pushes it open, also kind of like Splat, a fairly stout dwarven woman, dressed also in a very plain and simple tunic. Her arms crossed. She boots the doors open in front of her. Tattoos running up and down her forearms. Kind of dark auburn hair pulled back in a messy bun behind her head, just out of the way. She looks out across the porch, sees the guy in front of her with the knife out, just kind of motions with her neck, and he goes to move aside to let her by. She looks out over the party. Hey, what in the hell is this? Behind her, you see a goat with pretty long, curled horns, who's got a nice little collar on it with a big iron hook. You can see attached to the corner of the bar back behind him, the other end of a pretty long lead that she's undone. This goat's just kind of trotting up behind her towards the doorway here. I'm gonna add
I love the goat.
these to him. All I gotta do to get Ash's attention is put an animal in the encounter and we're good to go. Just add animal. And she does not look like she is in any kind of hurry. Her goat's a little lancy. But, she's not immediately moving out towards you guys, but she is mean mugging across the group. Also not visibly with any weapon. But you can see below the hem of her tunic and a bit up in the neck, the glimmer of interlocking metal links. She's got some chain armor under her shirt here, clearly. A Bodhi perp.
Ooh. She's not taking any actions, and that guy's with the knife is just frightened, or assumingly frightened. Can I... How heavy is that chair that's like up there? Right here.
Behind her, definitely more than one bulk. But there would be plenty of like small mugs and odds and ends and stuff if you're fishing for telekinetic projectile shenanigans.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to kind of, with the intent of a trip more than anything else, just want to put them off their feet. So I guess telekinetic projectile. Sure, that sounds like a thing.
Yeah. Do you have telekinetic projectile? Is that what you're trying to do? I was assuming your bulk question.
Yeah, I do have. Yeah. Telekinetic projectile is like one of my go-tos.
Yeah, basically all that you can really do with that spell is add a lot of momentum to something very quickly. You will later, when you get access to second level spells, gain access to something called telekinetic maneuver, which is a little more finesse. That lets you try to knock people over and do stuff like that. But all you can really do with projectiles, just a cantrip, is take thing and fling thing with great velocity.
All right, then I'm going to pivot here. I'm going to use my action to use the Share Senses ability. So you guys see this little tiny, kind of firefly-looking beetle crawl up out of my pocket onto my shoulder, and I kind of gloss over a little bit, and then this beetle takes flight and kind of buzzes up this window here that's like right there, and I want to use the Share Senses to see through ballast size.
Okay. So You're trying to look in the lay of the bar here? Or
Yeah,
where's
just
he
figure
looking?
out how many people are in there, if it's a bigger problem for us than we need to be, or if it's just this battle goat that's coming at me.
Looking inside the tavern itself, as you send ballast up onto the window here, it looks fairly abandoned. There is one man behind the counter who, at this point, has shrunk himself very small, kind of back in the corner, out of the way. But otherwise, it looks like the only people that were inside were him and this dwarven woman. It is pretty early in the morning, after all. It's not super heavy-going tavern hours quite yet. So, save for the bartender himself in the back, there are no other figures to concern yourself with here.
Okay, I'll release the senses and then have ballast kind of flutter back and bloop down into my pocket again.
Okay. I would give you, I believe, one action left still.
Yeah, and I just want to. I'll move up to be next to for Splat here, and just be. It's just the lady, the goat, and there's a member of the bar.
Well, Splat, that brings us to you.
Splat wants to. She wants to rage. She's a little furious right now. She's, we came here to be calm and cordial, and y'all came out as guns blazing, spitting fire through your mouths. We even have a friend here who tried to help out your other friend who just ran away like a little chicken. Well, were y'all raising a barn? You might as well have been raising a circus. At least you would have manners. She's gonna start getting, real big. And just, swole. And what she wants to do is she really wants to walk up to the guy with a knife. Girl with the knife, person with the knife. And, she doesn't want to hit them. She wants to go up to them and put her hand on their shoulder, hold them there and take the knife from them.
You can absolutely make a disarm check. It is athletic.
Okay. And then I'm on disadvantage? What am I on? Sorry.
You're frightened, so you basically just take a -1 to the roll. Okay. That guy's frightened too, so the number you have to hit is at -2. So you're still at a bit of an advantage here. Thanks to the fear spell.
Sweet. What did you say it was? Athletics?
It is athletics.
I'm ridiculously proficient in that. Okay.
I would hope so, barbarian woman.
Easy. 24? How are we feeling?
Was there ever a knife?
24. Were he
Was there
not?
ever a knife?
Disarming people is fairly hard. Were he not frightened, that would fail just barely. But because he is frightened too from Tabitha's magic, that is going to critically succeed. Which is the thing that you need to. You walk up and you get the knife away from him. You have the knife now. He no longer has, or you can take it or throw it on the ground.
I want to push him away. Just be like, get out of here! Don't play with things you can't handle.
And
she's gonna toss the knife on the roof. Just yeet.
Understandably, you're not frightened anymore at the end of your turn. That goes down. This guy, very much frightened and disarmed, as this dwarf is kind of nodding for him to get out of the way. He's going to take that to the absolute extreme. He, too, is going to run, hop the banister of this little porch, and take off. This guy doesn't want to play anymore. He's outie.
Dwarf goes... Run.
He's scared.
That's funny.
We don't want to hurt
little goat
them.
stepping up forward, kind of lowers its head a bit, tilting its horns a little forward, kind of tottering on its front legs. It's pretty excited. It's pretty antsy. But it doesn't look like it's willing to go up past Rana here. So it's going to wait because doesn't know what it's supposed to be doing quite yet. So Tabitha.
Tabitha sees this last miscreant and decides to walk behind. It's a 5 foot. Yeah, I'll cast guidance first. Then I'll cast that. Everybody gets a +1 to your attack rolls, perception, saving, skills, all of that until the end of my turn. And then on top of that, I'm also... So if I take a 5 foot step and I do that cantrip... Yeah?
5 foot step is an action in Tui.
Dang
So
it.
it's
Okay,
not...
okay.
You don't get it free if you only go 5 feet. Moving at all takes
Miss
an
it.
action.
I missed. That's the one thing I might miss.
Yeah, you get the 3
no, it's
actions,
cool.
but we lost the free 5-footer, and it does feel kind of bad.
No, it's cool. I want to talk to... So I see this person here.
Yep.
Hello? Anyone inside? Honestly, I know this doesn't seem to be most convincing, but we truly just wanted a pleasant conversation. I even brought croissants. Little chef worked so hard on them, and little chef will crawl out of my my hat onto my shoulder and say, "Eek." And I just want to try to convince this person to calm their peeps down.
Okay. Throw me a diplomacy check here.
Okay, I'll try my best.
You're a
Oh my
bard.
God.
You can't be that bad at it.
Why would you think me like that? Hold on,
You have
because
anything?
I refuse. I refuse. What is? Does my ace note help? Yep, I'm gonna use my ace note, and I might even use it again. Jeez. All right.
Can we stack it? Can you just heap ace notes on something until you succeed?
Yeah.
Get in there.
All right.
Oh.
So, is a 13 not enough?
13's probably not enough.
Oh, and
No.
I have a +1, a 14.
14's probably still not enough.
I'm doing one more. Fine.
Throw 36 on there.
I'm gonna throw another one on there. Watch this be
Perfect.
like a. Well, I effectively have come together with a full D6. That is 17.
17. 17 is exactly her DC.
So at least
need
she
all
listens
pieces
to me.
of that puzzle. And she's still got her arms crossed here. This goat standard, and she fixes her attention on you. It's not her turn quite yet, but again, she doesn't look like she's hostile yet. She's definitely looking at Tabitha, but Vera is in here before she is.
All right, that's my turn.
Yeah. Vera. You're muted, Elsa. I love Stu for a sec for you. Tell him.
Oh, I was muted. I apologize. I want to also talk this person down and tell her it looks like we got off on the wrong foot. We just came here to, on the mayor's behalf, to try and understand some things.
Okay. Do you want to also throw a diplomacy check in here?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Combined efforts.
17. You know what? I'm also gonna just use my. I'm also gonna use my ace note. +5.
Okay.
Woo! 23. Okay, pretty spicy. You're talking to her here. Hold got her arms crossed. Sort of looks over to the lady in the corner, the one of the kind of gang goons who's still up here. Just sort of nods back towards the bar. Get in here, Tatya. I'll handle business. And obligingly, she's gonna go for any of you guys. She's absolutely gonna run out in the bar and remove herself from this. And she looks to Vera and looks to Tabitha. You're looking for the sheriff. Alright. I don't know much I can tell you to help other than things have been a lot nicer and quieter since she left. And here, you got a conversation. Unless Bodhi Purper Splat wants to get violent, we can kind of suspend initiative for a minute here because you're talking. I mean, Splat is raging, so I don't know. Well, I don't know where you're at, Splat. Her disappearance ain't my doing. Happy for it. I ain't gonna be able to help you figure out what's happened.
Whew. Well, now that we've gotten all that nasty business out of the way, you may not think that you can help us, but may be wrong. I just want your account of things. I believe that... Was it the twins that came by this way? Or was it... Oh, was it Cubby? Oh no, it must have been the twins.
I saw those two from your little circus freak show it was. A pair of them looking exactly one like the other. Didn't get much further to report. Didn't ask a whole lot of questions either. Fine. Wouldn't have much to tell him. Same as now. Got nothing for you, pup.
Can I sense motive?
Yeah, that is perception.
That's a perception thing?
In the second edition. Yeah, that's just part of perception now. So if you want to roll a perception check while you're talking to her, you can absolutely go for it.
Yeah, I just want to see if she's holding anything back. Okay, 14.
The 14, you definitely get the impression that you're not sure if she's hiding anything specifically, but she's definitely more interested in just getting you lot gone than she is answering any questions. But with a 14, whether or not she's intentionally hiding anything or truly does know anything, you're not sure.
Right. Well, let me share some information with you and maybe it'll ring a bell. We, on our opening act, were attacked by snakes and other very vicious creatures.
I'm gonna stop you right there. Why on this world would I give a crap about your circus business? I don't know you. I don't care.
If there are any vicious animals in the area, maybe they might turn their ugly heads towards you someday. And I would just like to crush it out where it all started. Is that a diplomacy at this point?
Well, she looks down to the goat she's got next to her. Only vicious animal I've seen around these parts is Violet. Well, I'm perfectly certain could take the 40 with one horn lopped off her head. Still though.
I turn back to the group and I say, should we tell them about the bear?
Well, I don't know nothing about no bear. But I do know I could take that goat by the horns and swing it around and put it on the roof with a knife.
Well, that's not...
She's still, raging. Yeah, you have to remember. She hasn't calmed yet.
You could tell her about the bear or the giant snake. That could be fun.
Hold on. Wait. Splat, please, darling. Snacks.
How many you got?
As many as you need.
Oh, man, I could take like 20 right now. And she's also going to reach in her pocket and actually grab her coin and start...
Prestidigitation, 20 of whatever Splat wants.
Yeah. Everything.
And I'll be like, little chef, go handle it. And little chef will help assist you with all of that as you calm down.
She's calming down in the corner, eating food.
And I'll say, well, I very much respect your creature, but we also have very vicious animals of our own, and they made them piecemeal. Now, again, I cannot express this enough. Everyone in this town is in grave danger. Even the mayor's out looking for a solution as we speak. You may be very stubborn, you may be very set in your ways, but I truly, truly think you should just open up and share whatever you have with us. Not for us, but for the good of your establishment here, the muggery in your town. And yes, I did mess up the name on purpose.
All right, look. I don't know why some traveling circus folk are so interested in the goings-on of the fine town of Alberton. You done right enough, let me boys here. And she kind of nods down to the unconscious man in the dirt that you're all kind of gathered around. Save for this little shit. And she licks a Bodhi perp. Tell you what. Walk that gnome up here. Give me one good swing at him. I'll tell you what you want to know.
Wait, what?
What?
You heard me.
She wants to pop Bodhi burp in the mouth real quick.
I mean, I made it so that your friend didn't die.
Also, lady,
I think we're even.
Between you and me, you can fuck right off.
Wait.
And I thought that I was the vicious one.
All down.
We see Kasplat kind of reaching behind it, Tabitha, and like reaching toward Bodhi Perp. You want my coin?
Oh, I got something
calm
special.
down.
I don't think I've ever met a little shit gnome with a spine before. That's interesting, if nothing else. Alright. Look. Call it fair. You're making my morning a little more interesting and nothing else. Just seeing a little halfling witch sneaking around the town after dark. Is that the kind of thing you're looking for, I think?
Yeah?
Absolutely.
10 gold pieces. I'll tell you where I saw her go.
I would like to see. Is there any kind of like. Could I use like diplomacy to try and haggle?
Whoa.
You could try and use diplomacy to do a wide variety of things, but I mean, you could definitely use that, yeah? Use it for that.
I would love to use a diplomacy
Haggle her
check
down.
to try and be like, how about we just call it even again? To try and get for like her just to tell us.
Yeah, give me a diplomacy check.
All right. 22?
Which is pretty good. So you're talking to her for a minute or so here, back and forth, trying to convince her to put this down. And she's got kind of a smile on her face. She is amused by this interaction, clearly. Ends up at the right. Alright, cut your shit. I like you. I'll call it 5 gold. I ain't doing nothing for free, especially for traveling circus folk I ain't even know. Unless you're gonna let me pop that gnome a good one, in which case we'll call it even.
I'll gingerly pull out 5 gold if I have 5 gold. I believe I do.
Have 5 gold?
Just let him hit Bodhi Perp. We can fix it later.
It's about our dignity, Vera. If we let everyone walk around smacking us in the face, they'll never stop.
The only dwarf that's gonna hit Bodhi Perp is me.
Bodhi Perp.
I mean, you did just murder somebody.
Wait,
Well, he
I have an
came at us.
idea.
That was self-defense.
What's your
You're a
idea,
dwarf.
Kasplat?
You're a dwarf, right? I'm a dwarf. Do you want a thumb more?
Oh. One more.
Thumb more.
Are you serious?
It's serious business. Absolutely. Do I look like I'm not serious?
She's very
She,
serious.
Are you
She
chicken?
turns around.
You think you're gonna lose?
She turns around like she's walking away with you, but she only takes a couple of steps to the nearest chair in the tavern, pulls it out, turns around, kicks the chair nearest the door out a bit, sits down, and pops her elbow on the table, an arm wrestling position.
You see,
Yeah.
you don't see this a lot out of Kasplat, but she goes like it's giddy. And so you see her kind of like frolic a little bit up the stairs, and she plops right into the chair, puts her elbow down. It's like, all right, I've been waiting for this.
Oh. I think
more.
easiest way to do this, I'm gonna have you roll athletics against her fortitude DC, just like you were trying to trip her or shove her or something. And I'm gonna use a red light, so you're gonna take a D6 off it. I'll tell you what that is after you roll it.
What? So I'm
I ever
rolling
read.
basic athletics check.
You're rolling athletics, and then I'm gonna
Okay.
take this d6 off whatever you roll.
Okay.
Because I have one of those.
I'll
Too
give
many.
her guidance. Guidance.
What?
Yes.
Is that good athletics?
Please.
It's a skill checks. +1.
27.
You got 27? What did you roll?
Baby, it's a +8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you break
Okay.
her thumb?
Nah, she's
27,
fine.
more like 26. That wasn't terribly effective. Okay, so
So 26 is what I initially had.
Nice. I'm
I've
so
counted
happy.
your guidance. Aha!
Basically.
All right. Well, you definitely win this, cause Splat. What happens? It must just look like.
So they're going for a minute. Like, you see Kasplat breaking a sweat. She's just like, my goodness, an actual opponent. Okay. And then you see her finally just use her big old thumb. She gets it and she's squeezing it and realizes she might be breaking a little bone. So she pulls up and she's like, oh, sorry, but I win.
And as you're getting into it, as you really kind of squeeze it, Prana's equally on the line here, going for it. And you see her really like tense up at the table. Her other hand digging into the edge of this wooden table as she tries to fight it off. A clear distress kind of agitating Violet a little bit as this goat kind of starts headbutting the side of your chair. Like, not super hard. Twisted his head, whacking his horns
I'm
on your
paying
armrest.
no mind. I'm so focused.
Goat's just kind of lightly bonking. She's like, all right. Oh, my Torag. What the hell are you even made of?
Meat. And probably cornbread. Ask Tabitha.
Lots and lots of cornbread. I make sure it's every meal, at least twice a week.
That's right. She's gonna sit back and like pat her belly. I'm dense, baby.
Oh, the only question I got is why you bothered coming down here with a group of children behind you. Just kind of gestures the entire rest of the party and glares at Bodhi Perp. Why even bother with these louts? You can come hang with us. Through the circus. Live a life of
Well, the
drinking.
circus is great. Did you know that Vera actually has a tankard? She can drink endlessly. And for free.
Oh,
I think you're missing out.
show me.
And I
You should
pull
join
out
the
the
circus.
tankard. And I just pour.
You don't.
And I just keep letting it pour.
By all holy in this world, you got. Look, I ain't much for surface the religions, but that damn Kalian. Well, deal's a deal. Fine, you beat me fair and square. My cowardly lions will be back in a couple of hours, I imagine, once they nurse their sad little wounds. Alright. You know the Lindels? You don't know the Lindels. You're not part of this town. You're traveling through. You don't know a single face in here save the mayor sent you out on this, I imagine. Lindel's got a barn. It's a little ways up to the southwest. Some of the outlying farms. The third furthest one on the south side of the road as you're traveling. That little halfling witch. I've seen her on the road a couple of times, actually, heading out that direction. Couldn't tell you what's after. That's helpful to you literally at all. Don't matter to me. You upheld my side of the bargain. Get the hell out of the mad mug.
Thank you so
That's
much
useful.
for your patronage.
I'm gonna take my mug and I'm just gonna keep pouring it out as I walk out. Just to flex.
When I get to the door, I want to look back. Let me know if you need some muscle to actually handle some guys. And then
I will grab Bodhi by the scruff and drag Bodhi out. Toot sweet.
Splat's
If I
just
hear,
grooming
if
her
I hear
beard.
this,
I mean, he's saying it back to her, so I imagine it's not exactly a secret, really. He's saying it back to the door, he definitely
Right, yeah, I grab you. And I'm just
I'm
let's
leaving.
go.
Sure.
Let's go.
Do you want to think
Because Splat's gonna, as she's walking out, because she's just been grooming her beard, she's gonna toss it over her shoulders if she's like hair flipping. Just,
yes.
See you later. And walk out.
Ika Splat, was it? I imagine you introduced yourself at some point during the minute of haggling. I ain't seen a beard that impressive since I lived under the Five Kings Mountains.
Honestly, the men they wish they had it.
Through balls to bear something like that in the surface cities.
You see her turn around, and she's like, it's even better when you braid it. It's very relaxing, actually. Gives you all the confidence in the world. You should try growing yours out. Don't let people shame you. Life's too short to not wear what you want, or your facial hair how you want.
I kind of laugh and she steps back and shuts the door to the bar, closing herself back inside, leaving the group of you back on the road, the outskirts of Abberton.
That was fun.
Vera's just gonna
wanted to
like
wrestle.
just kind of crumple a little bit into like a heap on squatting, just kind of taking a breath. I don't want to do that again.
Just quite unpleasant. I didn't like it much either.
I had a blast.
Chef? Oh, good. The chef is here. It looks like we have to go and check on... I didn't quite understand her through her accent. Was it some lady?
The barn for that druid, I do believe. Vera just takes a big swig.
They gave you the, no bully me, I'm not a voice actor. They gave me directions to the barn.
No, it was good. You. I purely was not listening, that's all. You're good. You're good.
That's, they gave me directions to a barn on the outskirts west of town, on some of the outlying farms around Abberton, because really this is like the town center. But outside of this, it's like a half mile across the center of this city. Not even that, like a quarter maybe. There's another mile or two of just kind of farms and the land outside. A lot more space, not in the city itself. A ways down, would probably be a 30-minute walk or so out. On the southern end of the road, directions good enough that would help you find the Lindell barn where she was directing you to. So you check the Mad Mug off of your list of places to investigate and add the Lindell barn, staying exactly at 3 things to follow up on.
Got it. Okay. Team, we now know that there's something happening over at the barn, but we also have a mill or another barn type thing to check out, because that's what Tahala told us. And then, of course, we have to check out the weird church. Now, maybe these other things are a bit closer and we can do it along the way to the barn? Let's see. And I'll look at the map. What's the closest thing to us?
Closest thing physically to you, since you're gonna realistically need to head back into town for pretty much any of these. You're gonna end up at this main crossroads here, where you can either go up around this way to the mill, Hoffman's Mill, or around to the right to the church, which is a little bit further. So I guess the mill is the closest, but it's really kind of dealer's choice once you're in the middle of town.
Okay, everyone. The mill or the church?
Yes.
Well, there were wasps at the mill?
Yeah, I don't want to go where there's wasp.
Right, okay.
Also
Let's
that.
go to the church. We choose
Maybe-
death instead of
Maybe
wasps.
we can capture the wasps. Maybe we can capture the wasps and put them in that tavern with that old lady and her goat. I'm sorry,
Bodhi.
the old man behind the bar.
Some words must be kept in your side of your brain, alright? Please withhold your bloodlust. Are we really choosing the death smell versus the wasps?
I'll
I
go
heard-
where you tell me.
You picked Tabitha. Either one sounds bad to me.
Yeah,
I
I'm
heard
not
it was
brains to this
very
operation. I'm bronze, baby.
Well, I'm not a bug handler, but I probably could deal with one thing at a time. So let's go to the church.
We're going to church. Wait, I'm not that stressed right now.
Don't
You're
worry,
fine.
and I'll prestidigitize all of the blood and dirt off of her.
I appreciate that. I don't want the Lord to see me like this.
Must stay tidy in godliness. All right.
As you head over to the Church of Abadar near the center of town, it's again walking back up the other way, about a 15, 12-minute journey, a little shorter. You're not going all the way up to the campgrounds. You would come in view of the fairly impressive, as far as Aberton is concerned, building. It's a large structure, maybe about 80 feet wide, 80 feet long and 40 feet wide, made of a pretty stark white wood. And set along its front even with a couple of stained glass windows. It's not the fanciest make in the world, but they're impressive enough. There are also some bits of what at first look like gilding around some of the window frames, and the wooden pillars that are supporting the overhanging porch on the front end, but are definitely gold paint. Made obvious because it's flaked and worn away in a couple of places. Not because the church is terribly ill-maintained or anything, just because it's a church in Aberton in the middle of nowhere. The amount of effort that was put into its construction is vastly superior to the amount of effort that's been put into keeping it as pristine as time has gone on. Surrounding the church itself is a modestly sized cemetery with several rows of headstones visible through the gap in the western gate as you're coming in from that direction. The church structure itself is in the northeastern corner, so you would definitely pass by the back end of the cemetery, basically coming at it from behind first. The whole of the cemetery is surrounded by a gray stone wall, punctuated every 20 feet or so with a thick iron pillar, capped with another gold-painted small spire-like pylon atop each one. It's, again, relatively impressive for a town like this. So you can either head into the graveyard and go in towards the church that way from the back end, or you can just walk around all of this to the front of the church's access point. You can see there are a couple of larger mausoleums and statuaries kind of throughout the cemetery that just barely peek over the wall, nothing terribly massive. The wall itself probably being about 12 feet high.
Oh, goodness.
Should we go in the front door?
It would be the polite thing to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
That smell's
especially
not coming from
church.
these crypts, right?
I don't smell it yet.
Also, is Cubby. Cubby has a really good sense of smell, so...
Oh,
It doesn't smell out of the ordinary to any of you, no. Unless none of you have, like, scent as an ability, do you? You don't have that as, like, a sense?
I don't
think so,
I'll
but-
check.
Mm.
I'll check.
But, yeah, you're the only one I think might, being a catfolk. I don't think you do, but it's possible.
I don't think so.
I mean,
but I will
unless
later.
I'm still raging, I have a cute scent.
You actually.
My sense
Definitely
of
not
smell.
still raging at your 12-minute walk back into town, a
It
leisurely
improves.
stroll through Everton.
We're just
So
smacking you
not-
to keep you angry.
Not
Right.
being completely insane people, the group of you don't just walk in through the graveyard and go around to the front entrance of the church, which, I kind of hoped you would choose to do, but I figured I'd give you the option. Where you arrive to this wide white front porch. The two stained
I
glass
have,
windows here.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I have imprecise sense. I don't know
Okay.
exact. It means if something's emitting a heavy aroma or it's upwind, then you can like triple the range of that, so I can detect it if I'm downwind
you
of
would-
it or something.
Smell a little bit of an odd aroma coming from the church or the cemetery, but with imprecise and it's not powerful enough, you couldn't really
Right.
isolate exactly where. Just that this general area is something a little off.
I'll concur. I'll be like, something does smell a little strange. Just a little. Okay, thank you. Got it.
But these two stained glass windows on the front of the church that face out to the porch. One on the northern end looks like it depicts a tall man in a white robe with a gilded narrow breastplate and large golden shoulder pads. Not really armored, just kind of enhancing his form. Holding aloft a massive scale. The southernmost window emblazoned with dozens of golden keys interlocking and layered. But both of these windows are broken in several places, with bits of yellow glass scattered across the porch before you. One single arched door leading towards the church. As you approach this porch, you can hear a strange, thumping noise coming from within.
Maybe we don't. Maybe we should go to the mill? This sounds not good.
Everyone make up your mind.
I like
to
challenge.
I'll go. Let's do it. Feeling emboldened from earlier, Bodhi Perp just strides.
Bodhi, wait, and I'll.
No, we got to go in. That's what we're doing, right?
Oh God, I'll follow behind. Let me see if I have a spell.
As he heads up towards the door here, look at your spell list. You literally just go and you're just heading into the church, see what's going on here. What's your spell you're after here?
It's a cantrip. I'll just have to wait for it to happen. Yeah.
Okay. As Bodhi Pip goes to open the door, you see that the frame around the whitewood frame of this is actually splintered, cracked and buckled entirely in several places, where it looks like it's been hit with a kind of impressive force. The door itself, banded with brass, is a little bit askew in its frame, just a little, which lets it swing open quite easily, so it doesn't latch properly. And Bodhi opens it to the nave of the church, filled with rows of long wooden pews on either side, absolutely marred with huge log gouges. Comfortable gold velvet cushions have been shredded and thrown all across the room, with fluff and bits of cloth everywhere. Leather-bound books have been yanked from small wooden shelves in the back of each pew and ripped apart, with a litany of bits of pages and random scraps of paper up down this main aisle. The chancel at the west end has an altar in front of what must have once been a magnificent mural of Abadar and some other gods banding together to fight a huge demon that seems to be emerging from a planet itself. And behind that, you see the source of the thumping. A creature about 7 feet high, with gnarled, winding horns, almost like random antlers atop its head. Its bulbous, grotesque torso of yellowed flesh, stained with blood, furry, goat-like legs extending down from its waist. As this thing slams its claws into this back wall in the mural, cracking both the back wall of the church and destroying this art. As the door opens, it turns around and looks towards the group of you. An almost human, but squashed, hideous, repulsive face mounted on the visage of this demon.
Oh no.
There.
The door closed.
There, I think we will end today's session.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Y'all want to that's not an angry animal. That don't look like an animal. That thing looks like a literal demon. So
It's the animal of hell.
Oh.
We'll see what we can do with this creature next week, everybody. Before we go, quickly, why don't you all refresh chat's memory real quick? We'll start with Seum and go around the opposite way. Who are you? What do you do? Where can we find you?
I'm Sam. I'm a variety caster over on twitch.tv/Seum, Seum. I'm currently playing a lot of Final Fantasy XIV first playthrough, currently in Stormblood expansion, and loving that. You can catch me on socials at JustSam, JUSTSEUM. That's me. Who's next? Go.
I'm Jared. I'm one of the co-creative heads here at the DAT Network. Also, you can find me here on Twitch at The Real Gobshite. I stream during the day, sometime between 1 and 4. It really is schedule dependent. The DAT Network keeps me busy with all the shows. That's it. Go up here.
Hi, I'm Chelseabytes. I like to play all the types of role-playing games, and we're finally getting to play some more Pathfinder Chewy here. So I was your cat bard. It was great. You can catch me on twitch.tv/Chelseabytes, where we play just about everything under the sun. I've been playing Dying Light. It is terrifying. So join us for all of the shenanigans. And right on over to my boo. Hey.
Hi, I'm Ash. You can find me on Arcane Faith with a Y on everything. I stream on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Not this week, because this week's my birthday, so I'm taking it off. And I do a lot of Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, and things like that. On my channel, we play a lot of different games. Horror games, simulation games, crafting games, zombie games, all types of games. So, that's me.
And I've been the GM, Squiiddish. I do my own variety streaming. I play a lot of RuneScape. I play way too much RuneScape. I've also been playing some of the new Pokemon Legends. I'm in the Elden Ring waiting room, like I'm sure a great many of us in this last month we must suffer through before it is finally gifted to the world. Twitch.tv/Squiiddish, just me with the L name in the chat right there. Saturdays, you can find me over at twitch.tv/Paizo, running some more Pathfinder 2e content. But that is going to be it for us. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for the donation support, giving us the power. Thank you for the follows and the subs and all of that. And thank you for being you. Next week, Big Angry Church Gaming. Goodbye.